total number of seats 230. The majority or the halfway mark is 116. The BJP up 52. Just look at these numbers. 161. Congress down 48. Just at 36. It's one of their worst performances ever. BJP's phenomenal gain in Madhya Pradesh is because of collective leadership, many would say, and of course that faith in brand Narendra Modi. The state of Madhya Pradesh is the first state that the BJP had won. Historically, a young party which was formed in 1980, and just look at the growth of the party. A state that they have been winning convincingly for 4 terms is a state where they are returning with a pro-incumbency vote. And just look at these numbers again. I'm emphasizing because I think the Madhya Pradesh elections and the victory of the BJP is sending a message of what pro-incumbency means, a new lexicon in Indian politics and Indian political history. Looking at the state of Rajasthan, another fascinating story. One would say that it's a state which follows the revolving door process. It has been the case since 3 decades, so 30 years. And here is the BJP, which is returning to power, but up 40 seats from what it had last time around. Congress down 29, but this number is of course not as bad as several had thought, because this is the number that Ashok Gehlot, the outgoing chief minister, managed on his own. Perhaps their numbers would have been far worse than this, but the BJP victory of 113 again would be seen as part of their strategy in which they went with MPs being fielded on the ground, and at the same time sending a message that when it is about promises, people believe in their promises more than the report card of the previous chief minister. Looking at Chhattisgarh now, look, it's already 1 p.m. and these numbers are only consolidating for the BJP. BJP up 38, 53, the halfway mark in the state of 90 seats. It's a small assembly of just 90 seats, is 46. BJP at 53. Congress down by 33 seats. So Bhupesh Baghel factor hasn't worked. It is brand Narendra Modi which has worked again in the state. Remember, if we were to look at this number, it is the scheduled tribes, the ST factor, which has worked for the BJP. The OBCs have voted for the BJP. And just look at this number. This is showcasing that just about every caste and community may have voted for the BJP. So it is very much going the revolving door process. Looking at another state, this is the state that Veera loves to talk the most about, and rightly so, I would say, the state of Telangana. 119-member assembly, the halfway mark is 60. Congress at 65, above 46. But the real story is also that the man who played the role of creating the state in 2014, he is out. He is out with his party now gone below 41. I mean, just look at this number. It's going to be a humiliating defeat, certainly for K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Nobody would have thought about that.
But Maria, I think you need to those images. I think that's Revanth Reddy there,
the man
on
of the
his
moment.
Chariot, on his chariot there in Hyderabad.
The and what Reddy is this chariot?
It's you call it a chariot. Today, anything is a chariot. Anything you move on for Revanth Reddy is a chariot. It's his it's his car. He's stepping out of his sunroof in the car. Now, you see, this is a fascinating story on Telangana, but I must put a red herring here. At the moment, the number that you put up, 65, yes, it's comfortable, but 70 would be something where you breathe easy. And as far as BJP is concerned, getting up those 9 seats is also an interesting aspect there. Those pictures coming from Telangana, you know, Congress in Telangana has not seen images like this. The last images in the Congress party of Telangana, Sandeep Shastri, was in 2014 during formation time. And I remember during the 2014 parliamentary elections, the Congress really believed that it was going to win Telangana because it believed that we've created the state at the cost of Andhra Pradesh, which is the remaining part of Andhra Pradesh, which is 175 assembly seats, is the 21 parliamentary seats. That was the more, that was the 22 parliamentary seats.
The dividend has come 9 years later.
The dividend has come 9 years later, but it's come in the form
but it's not come in the form of the Telangana emotion, but much more in the form of a very strong anti-BRS.
I just want to take a little bit about Revanth Reddy. Now, and I want to put this in perspective, right, to those who don't follow Telangana so closely, which gets clobbered in the midst of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Chhattisgarh elections. He decides to contest from Kamareddy only because KCR decides to contest from Kamareddy, because they wanted to send out an image that, look, there is an opponent in place there. There is a challenger in place to K. Chandrasekhar Rao. And until 6 months ago, there was absolutely no sense of question over KCR's might. KCR playing the big role of trying to go and talk to other alliance partners, possible third front. There was so much around K. Chandrasekhar Rao, but I think there was a sense of hubris in the family that set in, saying that, look, our work is good and we will work through. In fact, this was said. And I just want to add one point before I cut across to you, Sandeep Shastri, is that, when people were questioning and when people asked what would be a crucial factor in these elections, it was the Hyderabad versus rural factor that was very important. Urban versus rural. And you look at the results today, in LB Nagar, in Hyderabad, where Sudhir Reddy is contesting, Huda chairman is contesting, and Madhu Yashtigaut. Madhu is trailing at the moment, the campaign committee chairman of the Congress. He is trailing at the moment. I don't know how the results will come. So Hyderabad, the men who built Hyderabad often lose the state, as we learnt with Chandrababu Naidu in 2004.
Very true. I think the voter in India is a great leveler of egos and beliefs that people have. Now, I'm going back to Kamareddy, where Revanth Reddy decided to challenge KCR. I think it was important for him to do it for two reasons. One, having been made the state party president, he had to lead from the front. And secondly, having been somebody who came to the Congress from other parties, it was important that he assert his presence in the party. And therefore, the best way to do it was to challenge the sitting chief.
Just pointing out.
And the second point you made, I think we are also seeing a divide between rural Telangana and Hyderabad. Hyderabad, Secunderabad clearly sees the BRS having some presence and also the BJP making its presence felt.
Okay, just telling you that Huzurabad, where Itala Rajender, remember Itala Rajender is the first finance minister of Telangana, a man who has been with K. Chandrasekhar Rao since 2003, since the formation of the party. These are people who broke from the TDP, went with KCR, part of the movement. Itala Rajender shifts to the BJP. He is trailing in his constituency, which he won last time, which is Huzurabad. Itala Rajender is trailing again in Gajwel, KCR trailing in Kamareddy. Rest of it, pretty much online, because, you are Harish Rao, KCR is winning Gajwel, Harish Rao is winning his Siddipet, KT Ramarao, who, incidentally, just to point out to you that, KCR names his son Ramarao because he's inspired by NT Ramarao. And that's the history of it.
That's an interesting anecdote.
So it's all fascinating. And this is a region, remember, which was once an erstwhile TDP stronghold, which moves to the BRS. The Congress now, perhaps for the first time, has won as many seats in history. I mean, I'm talking from 2004-9 onwards, as many seats as it's won this time in Telangana, 119. So it's at 65 there. You see it on your screen. So we'll keep talking. You let me be and I'll keep talking only Telangana.
You can actually talk about that victory because undoubtedly it is fascinating. But just look at the numbers of Madhya Pradesh and the neighboring Chhattisgarh. It's a landslide. Madhya Pradesh is a landslide.
Well, there is no question that if you look at Madhya Pradesh, it is a massive drubbing.
Yes.
It is not just a defeat, it's a massive drubbing, which looks even worse for the Congress because the Congress hyped up Madhya Pradesh as miraculously somehow they have managed to reinvent themselves in Madhya Pradesh. Now, mind you, this is something which I always felt strange because after Jyotiraditya Scindia walked out, there is no question that the Congress looked in tatters in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. And suddenly, about 5 months ago, there was suddenly this buzz that the Congress is making a comeback. And then it was so much so that there were all these reports that the BJP will lose. Now, Rajasthan is something which is also something which the Congress...
But just look at these numbers. I think the Congress has done better in Rajasthan in comparison to Madhya Pradesh.
True.
And that's even more shocking because here is another state which follows the revolving door. But in the first one, in Madhya Pradesh, the Congress had presented a picture that they had, Mr. Kamal Nath has been on ground zero for the last few years. He had almost recreated that machinery. He had, Zameen se party ko khada kiye is the buzz that was going on. But Meeta,
which is the bigger shocker for you amongst the three? I mean, for some of us who followed the Congress closely know that there was enormous sense of confidence about Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. There was a nervous confidence yet. Rajasthan, of course, it was a mixed bag. Which was the biggest shocker for you at what, 110? Meeta.
Hello.
Meeta, which was the biggest shocker for you? What are you messaging? Who are you messaging?
Namaskar, and yes, I was waiting for my turn. The biggest disappointment was definitely Madhya Pradesh, because if I have to go by the trends that are being presented right now, and though it has not been finally translated to the final numbers and the results, then obviously...
I'm really sorry, Meeta. I'll have to cut across to a Congress strongman, DK Shivakumar, who's in exclusive conversation there in Hyderabad with our reporters there. Let's cut to it now.
Yes, that's a bigger question.
The party high command, it has a process of selecting leaders. We have gone to the election on a collective leadership. The party high command will take its call.
Massive crowds there that you see at Revanth Reddy's residence there. I'm sorry, Meeta, I cut you short. Please go ahead. You can speak over pictures that we are showing on the screens right now of the massive celebrations outside Revanth Reddy's house. But please tell us about which the bigger shocker for you is.
The bigger shocker has to be Madhya Pradesh, because if we go with the internal survey reports that we had within the Congress party, as well as the surveys done by different agencies, different neutral external agencies, they all predicted that Congress had a clear edge in the state of Madhya Pradesh. And the results obviously do not match our expectation, and we will have to have a very closer look at the victory margins and at the data analytics, and we will do that. And we'll have to do a proper analysis of the results. In Chhattisgarh, I was just having a look at the results, and even now, though these are trends, these are not consolidated as final results, but there are many constituencies where the victory margin is less than 1,000 votes. In certain places, even less than 500 votes. So it's a very closely fought contest, number one. In Rajasthan, yes, Rajasthan had this revolving door custom. Every 5 years, we have seen change in government in Rajasthan. Given that, the fact that Congress as of now is leading on 73 seats, the majority mark remains around 100, shows that Ashok Gehlot ji had been a popular chief minister in the past 5 years. And there had been no clear massive anti-incumbency against the Congress government in Rajasthan. So I wouldn't say Rajasthan's results completely disappointing, but yes, we definitely expected to do better in Madhya Pradesh and in Chhattisgarh. And obviously we are very elated with our performance in Telangana. Bear in mind that even 6 months back or 1 year back, we were kind of written off. We were not even considered as the principal opposition party in the state of Telangana. From there, the way the regional leadership under the PCC, under the leadership of Revanth Reddy ji and the combined leadership of ACC, the way we have rebuilt the party and the way we have posed a challenge to a very powerful regional party
Meeta, as
in
you're
Telangana,
speaking of Telangana, may I just ask you this question? I see the numbers on the screen. They were about 70 earlier. It's now at 65. I don't know where they will solidify at. Possibly there are some very close contests. What's a number the Congress will feel comfortable in Telangana? And I'm not talking today or tomorrow, I'm talking for the next 5 years, because several Congress leaders suggested to me that, look, we're not just looking at a majority, we need a comfortable majority given the history of party breaking that happens across all states of India, but especially in the southern states.
Okay, the majority mark is 60 in Telangana, and we have crossed it. And we hope to get a higher number in Telangana. I think we are in a comfortable position as of now. Bear in mind, BJP had fought this election against the BRS government. Their entire narrative, the entire campaign that they put in Telangana was anti-BRS. And the fact that BRS is only in 40-something, I think in 41, I think they are far away from the 60 mark. Even if you include the others into that, even then it is far away from the majority mark.
Telangana numbers, but these elections will add to the headache of the Congress party. You are not a challenger when it is about a direct contest, and Modi factor works in states as well, particularly in the northern India and the central India. We are going straight to Harsha Kumari, who's joining us live from Jaipur. Harsha, who are the leaders who are arriving in Jaipur? It's a day of big celebrations for the BJP.
Well, yes, it's a day of big celebrations, and in fact, all the leaders are closeted at this BJP office right on top. They are having a meeting here. As you can see here in the office at the BJP Karyalaya, all the garlands are have been put out. Balloons are out in nice numbers, all orange and bright. So who all are here? Well, definitely all the big leaders of the BJP are here, and they are in the party Karyalaya having a meeting because now they have to move ahead perhaps with a press conference. Vasundhara Raje has not come to the party Karyalaya yet. She is at her residence. CP Joshi is also at his residence, the BJP president, and we believe that even senior party leaders could be coming in tomorrow here, looking ahead at government formation. So what really... So BJP women workers breaking into a spontaneous dance right here behind me. Yes. A lot of enthusiasm here. It's quite difficult to do an OB. But yeah, what were the reasons for the
dancing
BJP
as well?
win? I think 3-4 things very clearly.
Harsha, you should start dancing as well.
So
you stuck your neck out. You predicted this right.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to come and ask all my friends what are the number I said, and I think we are quite close to that. Thank you for saying that, Veera. Thanks so much for that. But yeah, what were the reasons? You know, I think more than anti-incumbency, there is a sense in Rajasthan that they just need to change the government. They want a fresh face. And I definitely get that feeling that, let's have someone new. And somewhere or the other, perhaps when, last time when the Congress also won, there was a certain attraction to Sachin Pilot as a fresh face. That was definitely there. Of course, the social welfare schemes were there. But if you look at somebody like Ravindra Bhati, he's an independent from the BJP, left the BJP. He's one from a small constituency called Shiv. And he's been a sensation on social media, on Instagram, and also on the ground. So I think sometimes what political parties should also realize is about how they need to just freshen up a little bit and maybe come across with new faces, because that, I think, somewhere is what the voter also wants.
That's an important question. Harsha, I just want to point out you're wearing a pink jacket which would work for the BRS in Telangana. Of course, no pink there in Telangana today. In terms of the Congress's internal power dynamics, I know a few leaders had suggested at that time, and I mean off the record obviously, that if the Congress loses in Rajasthan, it may make the move simpler for a change of guard there to transition into a newer leadership. Do you see that happening, or do you think it's a body blow to everyone?
No, I think, this was actually flagged to the Congress High Command very early last year. And the Congress High Command, to give them credit, did try and do that actually. They realized that, the work that has been done by Ashok Gehlot is a foundation they can build on, but they need a fresh face to go ahead with it. And that was the reason they probably wanted him to be Congress president. So I think somewhere that mantra was given to them. They understood that. Sources have told us that many senior Congress leaders also pitched for that. They said, if you change the CM face, then perhaps we can, win Rajasthan again, because it is not just about 5 years, but about looking at 10 years. And I think, somewhere when the BJP decides its CM phase, they're going to look at 10 years. They're not, again, going to give the leadership here for 5 years and then expect to be voted out by Rajasthan's revolving door. So when the BJP decides and announces their CM phase, I think that's a factor we all should look out for.
So who will be the Mukhyamantri of Rajasthan will be the big question now, because If the BJP has managed to get 110 seats in the state of Rajasthan, it's a big message that is coming for all the state leaders, even as the party will be saying that they came up with a new formula, Harsha, of fielding 7 MPs also in the state of Rajasthan. How are the MPs doing as candidates, Harsha?
Well, most of the MPs are doing quite well. Rajavardhan in the middle had his bit hiccups, but we are told that he will catch up because, you know, it's the biggest constituency. He also has the largest number of candidates. Diya Kumari has, of course, done absolutely marvelously. Baba Balaknath has also done very, very well. So he's doing well. I'm just going to check on Devji Patel. Remember, he was the other person from Jalore who had a lot of opposition, faced a lot of opposition. So by and large, this formula of, you know, setting in the MPs to fight the election, to go faceless, not go with the, you know, go on the party symbol. I was talking to some young people here, and in fact, wherever I traveled in Rajasthan, the youth vote actually has swung towards the BJP, especially over the paper leak issue. You know, the exam paper leak has actually been a very defining narrative for the youth and for the BJP in this election, and the BJP had their pulse on it, and they used it to the maximum and too politically to hilt.
Okay. Harsha, we'll keep coming back to you, but Avinash Kalla is here in the studio. Avinash, you and I have been discussing the elections very closely for the last few weeks. What do you think worked for the BJP, or has the state just followed the tradition or rivaj of voting out the incumbent?
I think we followed the rivaj by and large, and what worked for the BJP best was their gains in the eastern Rajasthan. You look, 27 seats they have gained. So it's more of a loss for the Congress than the gain for the BJP. Because the caste combinations worked very well for them and they look comfortable as of now. So more than anything. And secondly, the whole idea of law and order that the BJP was raking up for the women voters worked in favor of them. So freebies didn't work that well. And as we have been talking, Maria, that people look at it, that we have gained out of this government, whatever the next run will give will be a new add-on.
ये बताइए मुख्यमंत्री कौन है? यही सवाल है.
देखिए मैं अभी भी कह रहा हूं जब तक ये आंकड़ा 120 पार नहीं करता, it's a good chance for Vasundhara Raje as long as it is under 120.
Okay, so let's start with the person sitting next to you, sir. What is your take? Who's becoming the chief minister in Rajasthan?
Again, as we have started this entire election procedures, election campaign, that Kamal ki Phool, this is the targets of BJP, and now rightly, the next gentleman next to me has told that until we cross a very safe figure of 120 plus, we are not going to decide that who is going to be the chief minister of there. Then the parliamentary board will take a consolidated decision regarding 3 or 4 states, three states at least, and then they will be accepted.
Having covered the BJP for several years now, and particularly the Modi-Shah BJP post 2014, the parliamentary board decides what the party leadership decides.
No, I think if you have covered BJP...
look at the processes, but you know, the
I tell you, apart from a media person, I am also a Sangathan person. I tell you, I also involved in the Sangathan. We are regimented. As you rightly told, it is Mananiya Narendra Modi ji whose face is the most, assuring face for our party. But when it take a decision, it is a cumulative decision, collective decision, and it is, okay, maybe guided by Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah, but this is never taken on a single...
What's the big takeaway in terms of, sorry, Mr. Ghosh, I just want to focus on that one question, that you say that it's a collective decision. What's the big takeaway for the BJP here? Because you had an experiment in Karnataka where they wanted to change Yediyurappa, move forward, the elections backfired, but they've now brought that back, sort of reversed that decision. Here in MP and Rajasthan, there was a sense of wanting to move forward from the old guard. But along with, you know, sort of a collective move forward. What's the big lesson for the BJP from these as it goes forward to 2020?
There's 2 messages. Number one, if you talk comparing between the southern India and northern India sentiments and their organizational pattern and organizational structure is different. Secondly, in northern India, there's a lot of other factors apart from the who will be the face. A lot of other very critical factor is there. And this time the factor has multiplied. So the lesson that we have got that there should be a combination of the youth and the old, number one.
Number two, this was never done so, I think, so forcefully that even the central leaderships or the cabinet ministers has been. So that is a unique part of BJP, that if necessary, the cabinet minister can leave their position, and as a good karyakarta, they come down at the state level and fight and win it. Not a single party in this country can show the second example. So that is the strength of BJP. That is the strength of us, that we are like a fighters. We are like a fighters, and we are ready to fight any challenges which has been given, whether it is cabinet minister, whether it is a state minister, whether it is any position, we are fighting for the cause.
Okay. If you look
Maria,
at it, when the prime minister will be arriving at the BJP headquarters and will be addressing the karyakartas of the party, he will say, I am also a karyakarta. So I think that,
can I make a point?
He behaves like that also.
Yeah.
He behaves like that.
Yeah. So I just would make a brief point. I think what he said is something very significant, that if on the chief ministership in Rajasthan, that if they reach a safe figure of 120, that's when they'll take the decision. Because remember, Vasundhara Raje has a lot of very loyal supporters. And they don't want to get to, and this is, I think, the hard, pragmatic, strategic sense of the BJP. It's not just Mr. Modi's dominance.
No, but it's a very important
it's an important point.
That look, we will test a decision. If it doesn't work, we are happy to take it back.
And the same thing in Madhya Pradesh.
I will disagree with this. A figure of 109 in an assembly of 199 with the halfway mark of 101 is a convincing victory of a party. And if you look at it, the challenger or the Congress party in this bipolar contest is 73. So they are good 35 seats ahead. So even if the rebels or any other leader is not a factor here, the BJP will take a call. The leadership at the center will decide.
I think, Maria, I agree with you
here. Yes, it's a big number.
Reason being, as somebody said it, they are looking for 10 years ahead.
Yes.
And they'll have to plan it now.
Okay.
Let's cut across to Piyush Goyal.
Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is speaking. Let's listen in.
लेकिन जिस प्रकार की शानदार विजय भाजपा की हुई है और जो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के अलग अलग सभाओं में स्पष्ट देखने को मिलता था, तेलंगाना में भी आप देखिए जिस प्रकार से बढ़त भाजपा की हुई है। पिछली बार तो हम एक सीट पे थे, एक सीट से डबल डिजिट पे जाना ये स्पष्ट करता है कि देश भर में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के प्रति लोगों का विश्वास दिनों दिन बढ़ते जा रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी जो कहते हैं वो करते हैं, ये बात लोगों के जहन में आ गई है। और मोदी है तो मुमकिन है, ये आज देश का हर युवा, देश की हर महिला, देश का हर गरीब इस बात से सहमत हो चुके हैं।
जी सर, हमेशा की तरह कांग्रेस फिर से ईवीएम को लेकर हो रही है।
बड़ा दुर्भाग्य है, कांग्रेस पार्टी इतना विषयहीन हो गई है और जिसको बैड लूजर्स कहते हैं उसका परिचय फिर एक बार दे रही है। पूरी दुनिया में आज भारत के ऊपर, भारत के राजनीतिक प्रणालियों पर, भारत के चुनावी प्रणालियों पर पूरे दुनिया में भारत की वाहवाही होती है। ऐसे में कांग्रेस शायद चाहती नहीं है कि भारत का गुणगान हो, भारत के नाम आगे बढ़े। ये दुर्भाग्य तो है ही, पर मुझे लगता है कि जनता में ये हंसी मजाक का विषय है, उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं।
जी सर, थैंक यू।
The BJP office will begin shortly when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will arrive in few hours from now. He has ensured that the party wins and wins big in the states. And Desh Ratna Nigam, let's make it clear that a number of 111 and a good gap of 40 seats between the Congress and the BJP is a convincing victory. This will not be seen as any kind of confusion among the voters.
Yes, certainly. And you have to keep an eye on who are the 17 others as well.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the gap, now there is 113 as I see in some channels, 113 to the BJP and 69 to the Congress. That gap is very material to decide who is going to come into power. And BJP is not looking for a short-term gain. Immediate prospect is for 2024 elections, general elections, and then the planning for next 10 years. So that this revolving door policy goes for 6. Because BJP should certainly be considering to bring out some kind of a new face out there who builds BJP for future in Rajasthan. Yes, and I'm sure 2024 elections, the number of seats which the BJP is going to get in Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh will be humongous, almost sweep will be there. There is no doubt about it, despite, in fact, if you look at the previous elections, the loss of BJP but sweeping the elections in the general election. So this will be probably the same kind of results, is probably 1 or 2 seats added more out there in the general election.
I believe we can go across to an exclusive interview with Raman Singh there, potential Chief Minister aspirant for in Chhattisgarh. Let's listen into that before we come back into this conversation.
छत्तीसगढ़ में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बन रही है और जितने रुझान आ रहे हैं उसमें भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पूर्ण बहुमत है। हमारे साथ पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर रमन सिंह हैं। आप पहले भी बोल रहे थे कि 52 से 55 के बीच में, अब वो आंकड़ा पहुंच रहा है।
बिल्कुल लगता था और पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ को घूमने के बाद एहसास हो गया था कि भूपेश सरकार के भय और आतंक से जनता ऊब चुकी है, भ्रष्टाचार से ऊब चुकी है और बदलाव होगा।
अब आगे का क्या होगा, क्योंकि अब पूर्ण बहुमत आ गया भारतीय जनता पार्टी को। अब जो चर्चाएं हो रही हैं कि मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा, तो क्या माना जाए कि अब डॉक्टर रमन सिंह ही मुख्यमंत्री होंगे?
नहीं, कोई डॉक्टर रमन के चेहरे को सामने रखकर चुनाव नहीं लड़ा गया। विधायक दल की बैठक होगी, पर्यवेक्षक आएंगे, विधायकों से राय लिया जाएगा और दल का नेता चुना जाएगा। हर बार यही होता है, 2003 में भी हुआ, 8 में भी हुआ, 13 में भी हुआ, तो वो प्रक्रिया समानता है और विधायकों के बैठक के बाद तय हो जाएगा।
आपसे जब भी मेरी बात हुई तो आप यही बोल रहे थे कि 52 से 55 सीटें में पूर्ण बहुमत के सर। बाकी अगर देखें, एग्जिट पोल देखें, तमाम जो लोग हैं वो ये आकलन नहीं, तो आप इसको किस तरीके से आकलन कर पा रहे थे?
पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ को घूमने के बाद एक नक्शा बना हुआ था और ये मालूम था कि भूपेश के घमंड को, भूपेश के भ्रष्टाचार को छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता भूपेश के चेहरे को रिजेक्ट करने जा रही है और ये दिख रहा है पूरे चुनाव में।
अच्छा, क्या मोदी जी की गारंटी काम की और घोषणा पत्र ने पूरा ये लैंडस्लाइड किया?
निश्चित रूप से जो नतीजा दिख रहा है, मोदी जी की गारंटी सबसे प्रमुख रूप से, उस गारंटी पे छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता ने विश्वास किया है और डबल इंजन की सरकार बनाने के लिए छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को प्रचंड बहुमत से जिताया है।
सरकार बनने के बाद फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी, पहला काम क्या होगा?
पहले ही कहा हुआ है कि 18 लाख आवास की बात और जो घोषणा पत्र हमने कहा है उसके क्रियान्वयन की बात, महिलाओं को 12,000 रुपया देने से लेकर अन्य घोषणाएं, उसका क्रियान्वयन।
Well, now it's all time for who's going to become CM where, whether it's Congress or BJP, everything shifts to Delhi right now. The decisions are taken in Delhi, then spread across, right?
Yes, because, you make that point, who will become the chief minister. I think from the Congress side, it's more or less decided, because there's only one state. On the BJP side, because it was collective
leadership. There is only one state, Maria, but there are many aspirants in every state. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll try and focus with our expert panel on what's next in the next 8 to 10 hours. That will be the politicking that we'll discuss when we come back from this very short break.
This World AIDS Day, join the fight against HIV. I'm Ayushman Khurrana. This World AIDS Day on the 1st of December, come be a part of the Banega Swasth India campaign and be the change with me. One World Hygiene, 10 Kadam, 10 Kadam.
It's the semi-final before the big 2024 final. The high-stakes battles in the 5 states.
Can Gehlot stop the Rajasthan revolving door this time? Or will the Modi magic trump Gehlot ka jadoo?
Is this the toughest political battle for Shivraj Singh Chauhan in 2 decades in MP? Will Kamal Nath turn the electoral tables this time decisively?
This time, the BRS is facing a tough fight from the Congress, and the BJP's high-pitched campaign is making this a triangular contest in India's youngest state.
Baghel banks on welfare scheme to retain Raipur for Congress. Which way Chhattisgarh will swing?
There is a tough triangular fight between the MNF, ZPM and the Congress in Mizoram. The big question is, who will drum home?
The fastest results, data crunching, accurate analysis and newsmakers. The battle for states. 6 a.m. onwards, all day, on December 3rd on NDTV.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Would you invest in startups right now?
We are currently investing in startups, and we have been doing so continuously for the last 7, 8, 10 years, maybe 15 years, with some breaks in the middle, but not a break currently, simply because we are seeing good opportunities, we are seeing good companies, good founders, good ideas, there are good new emerging technologies. And we believe over a 7, 8, 10 year perspective, this is actually a good time to get in, because we believe entry price, entry valuation matters a lot. So we invested in Zomato in 2010, right in the middle of the global financial crisis. We invested in Policy Bazaar in 2008, just before Lehman collapse. And those have turned out thus far to be our 2 best investments. ICICI Venture invested in Info Edge, our first round, in April 2000, just when the dot-com bubble burst. And we built Naukri through the crisis, profitably after a couple of years.
Back all the action right here on NDTV. Now Maria is going to take us through state by state, of course, from the emphatic win in Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, 20 minutes to 2, and these trends are only consolidating. We can say clearly and safely that the BJP is forming the government in the state of Madhya Pradesh, despite having an anti-incumbency of 4 terms. The Chief Minister is returning to power. The BJP is returning to power. Whether it will be Shivakumar Singh Chauhan or not, that remains to be seen. But BJP is returning to power. Just look at the gain that they have had of 161 seats in all in an assembly which has the halfway mark of 116. Congress winning 66, down by 48 seats. But I think this number of 161, it becomes important. And Sajjan Kumar, let's discuss this 161, particularly that this is the biggest victory ever.
Yeah.
Bigger than 2013, when it was like, we had seen Mr. Modi arrive on the political scene. But at that time, it was around 150. This is a landslide victory.
Yeah, and this landslide victory is something which is being attributed momentarily to the overwhelming participation of the women, because of the, Ladli Lakshmi, Ladli Behna Yojana. But mind it, one factor cannot account for such a big margin of around 9 to 10% between Congress and the BJP. One has to understand that there is something about Madhya Pradesh. When you talk about 2 months back, there was real anti-incumbency, there were real anger, there were real issues which was facing BJP in a negative way. From there until now, this landslide which you win, it means 2 things. One, Congress is incapable on encashing on anti-incumbency across India, barring few states. Karnataka was just one exception. This is one. 2, the top leadership of the Congress is a baggage, So even when state leadership is somewhat holding the ground, they do not get the kind of support. And in the case of BJP, you have all the assets, the organizational might, you have the central leadership, and then the leader was being projected as someone who people were fatigued with, suddenly turned out to be an asset. From 8 o'clock until 1, 2 a.m. in the night, the way Shivakumar Singh campaigned invoked the emotional card, and the way BJP organizational might reduced the election, not only from a binary between Kamal Nath and Shivraj, but in every region it was Kamal Nath versus Narendra Singh Tomar in Chambal Gwalior region, Kamal Nath versus Kailash Vijayvargiya in Malwa region, Prahlad Singh Patel in Mahakaushal. So that we see the creative campaigning, creative strategy, organizational might, making it multifaceted and not rejecting, sidelining Shivakumar Singh Chauhan completely.
That was a lesson perhaps learned from Karnataka.
That was a classical textbook model of how to fight an election, wherein you see all the variables in a synchronized, positive way. And that is why, as was mentioned, in Rajasthan also it's a clear and emphatic win. But could it have been up to 130 or 140 had you seen all the variables of face, organization and creativity also in Rajasthan?
So it's about a complete thali that we keep talking about.
Exactly, it is going to be a classical case study how to win an election even when you face adversarial.
So for till 2 months back, it was being seen as anti-incumbency, but today we are discussing pro-incumbency, ma'am.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think 2-3 factors. I completely agree with the co-panelist. And one more factor which I have been stressing again and again is the consolidation of the Sanatan votes which has happened in this region, especially the northern belt. I think this is something which we cannot ignore. The Sanatan Dharma was constantly being targeted by India Alliance, and there was no clear, visible, side taking by the Congress guys. So basically, Kamal Nath, even though he tried to stay neutral and tried to project that as if he is pro-Sanatan, but there were no clear opposition from his side when there were certain statements made. In Rajasthan, if you remember, there was the beheading of Mr. Kishan Lal, very small time worker, Kanhaiya Lal, I'm sorry. So that also caused a lot of consolidation of these votes, and while BJP planned meticulously, they also implemented many schemes. They reached out to people, but at the same time, this is a very important factor which we cannot ignore after all.
Absolutely.
And the women voter share.
We'll talk about the women factor because that's the most fascinating part of Indian politics that I have been almost following as a trend for election after election, from assembly elections to central elections, the Lok Sabha elections. But one thing is becoming clear, ladies and gentlemen, that what plays as a Modi voter or a Labharti works not only in the Lok Sabha but also works in the state elections. These are the numbers coming in. It's only consolidating of 160 plus for the BJP. Let's listen in to Jyotiraditya Scindia, someone who was responsible for toppling the government of Mr. Kamal Nath, but he also became a factor in the Chambal Gwalior region where his chosen men have registered victory.
सर, आज की इस जीत पर क्या कहेंगे? ऐसी जीत की उम्मीद थी?
अनुराग, मैंने आपको कहा था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जीत होगी, और आपने भी उस दिन मुझे कहा था कि मुझे भी लग रहा है कि यही होगा। आपकी सोच और हमारी सोच पूर्ण रूप से सत्य निकली। इस जीत पर अगर मैं किसी को प्रथम मैं धन्यवाद अर्पित करना चाहता हूं, तो हमारे मध्य प्रदेश के एक एक मतदाता को मैं देना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ ये सरकार बनाई है। मैं उनके सामने मैं प्रणाम करता हूं, नतमस्तक हूं और उनके पैर छूता हूं। और उसी के साथ प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नेतृत्व, जो एक पूर्ण रूप से लक्ष्य के साथ उन्होंने कार्य किया है मध्य प्रदेश के विकास के लिए, देश के विकास के लिए। गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी और हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जेपी नड्डा जी, उनका मार्गदर्शन, हमारी जो हौसला अफजाई हुई, और प्रदेश के अंदर अगर किसी को श्रेय जाता है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक एक कार्यकर्ता, जिसने खून पसीना एक करके इस पार्टी को इस स्थान पे लाया है, और हमारे मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान जी, जिनकी जन कल्याणकारी योजनाओं ने ये परिवर्तन लाया है, और हमारे प्रदेश अध्यक्ष बीडी शर्मा जी।
और ये छत्तीसगढ़ में क्या हो गया? आप तो वहाँ भी
प्रधानमंत्री जी का देश की जनता के दिल में जो जादू है, राजस्थान हो, छत्तीसगढ़ हो, मध्य प्रदेश हो, एक इतिहास प्रधानमंत्री जी ने देश के अंदर जो कायम किया है, उसी का एक रिफ्लेक्शन है कि एक एक राज्य में जनता उनके साथ जुड़ी है।
बस एक आखिरी सवाल, मुख्यमंत्री चेहरे को लेकर बहुत सवाल हो रहे हैं।
मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता था, आज हूं और जिंदगी भर रहूंगा। उसी सोच और विचारधारा के साथ उसी श्रेणी में मैं कार्य कर रहा हूं।
मध्य प्रदेश में डबल इंजन की सरकार पर जन जन का विश्वास है। मोदी जी की गारंटी पर जन जन का विश्वास है।
एक ही राज्य नहीं, कई राज्यों में इस बार बीजेपी ने जो दावे किए थे वो पूरे होते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल, पूरे भारत में आज मोदी जी की गारंटी पर जन जन को विश्वास है।
सर, आपने एमपी को बेहद ही करीब से देखा है, क्या वजह रही जो इतने सीट लेकर आ रही है बीजेपी?
मैंने आपको कहा, देश में मोदी जी की गारंटी पर जन जन का भरोसा है।
Is now all in celebration mode, and rightly so. Their performance in Madhya Pradesh is perhaps the best among all the states, but the Congress performance among all the states is worst in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Clearly, best and worst, you can clearly sense that. Ajoy, coming to you, is this now the end of road for Mr. Kamal Nath, 78-year-old leader? What will happen to him and his politics after this?
I really think so, because I think Kamal Nath doesn't bring anything to the party. He's not a mass leader. And I think one of the problems is that all this talk of Kamal Nath helping the Congress make a comeback, I think was really deluding themselves, the Congress. Because Congress, Kamalnath is very good at managing things from behind the scenes. But as a face to the public, he's really nobody. Digvijay Singh is no doubt was a massive leader, was a great mass leader at one point. But now he's finished. He is now very old. Again, yesterday's leaders. So they do not have somebody really which is strong. They had Scindia, but he's left the party. So I think that's a big problem.
So my question to Maria as well as to you, in hindsight, for instance, you have a Sachin Pilot in Rajasthan. Who is going to be the next guard? Scindia was potentially that. Now, parties need to transition well in time. And what's the bigger lesson as far as regional satraps is concerned? You have a Siddaramaiah, you have a DK Shivakumar which work up, you have a Revanth Reddy which works out in Telangana, but you don't have these old regional satraps working out in MP and Rajasthan.
Can I make a point on that? I think to look at what forward for Kamalnath, we need to go backward. The fact that he had only 1.5 years as Chief Minister was linked to the fact that he was not able to take other segments of the party with him. You had the unrest leading to Scindia leaving the party. I think the time has come where the Congress has to look at younger leadership. They should have given a chance in this election itself, but now I think, given the type of results we have in Madhya Pradesh, younger leadership for the party is something it needs to look at, even as it prepares for the next Lok Sabha election.
Yes, so this is a drubbing for the Congress. They have to really go back to the drawing board and start understanding as to what went wrong, because this is their, it's essentially that the party doesn't have any structure on ground if these numbers actually hold.
Maria, can I make a
yes,
small
please,
point?
go ahead.
I want to make a small.
These elections, and if they lose Chhattisgarh also decisively, is really bad for the Congress. But I would like to be provocative and say that this is actually good for the India alliance. Because my fear has always been, and knowing the Congress for over 50 years, if they had won and done very well, they would have completely gone besides themselves and said, who needs this region?
This is a very important point.
That in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, it's Congress versus the BJP.
Yeah.
There is no regional player here.
No, what I'm trying to
So
say,
they may not have any bargaining power, say in Uttar Pradesh or in Bihar.
Right.
But then they needed that. They had to be strong here.
Maybe for the Congress. But what I'm trying to say is that if they did very well, they would have been very pig-headed, like they were in Madhya Pradesh.
I think the point Ajoy is making is that regional players will feel confident with the Congress coming in and being able to deal with them. But unfortunately, Ajoy, these areas, the Congress, I mean, if it had been a 2-1 in these areas, it may have been okay. But a 3-0 here would be a jolt even to regional players who were trusting the fact that, look, they will be able to hold their own either in MP or in Chhattisgarh or in Rajasthan. One of them. So that's a huge point. Let's just listen in to Smriti Irani, who's spoken to our reporters before we come back to this conversation.
नरेंद्र मोदी की गारंटी है विकास की। मोदी की गारंटी पर जनता ने जो भरोसा दिखाया है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता होने के नाते हम जनता के प्रति कृतज्ञता का भाव रखते हैं। बार बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं ने डंके की चोट पर कहा कि मोदी मैजिक रंग लाएगा। आज के परिणाम उसी का प्रतीक है।
जिस तरह से मोदी जी पे कटाक्ष भी कर रही थी विपक्ष, उसको लेकर
मैं इतना ही कहूंगी, जिस प्रकार की अभद्र टिप्पणियां गांधी खानदान ने विशेष नरेंद्र मोदी के ऊपर की, जिस प्रकार का कटाक्ष विपक्ष के नेताओं ने नरेंद्र मोदी पर किया, वो कटाक्ष विपक्ष को, गांधी खानदान को महंगा पड़ा है। जनता जानती है कि विकास के मुद्दों पर सिर्फ नरेंद्र मोदी का नेतृत्व, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ही खरी उतरी है और जनता ने उसी पर भरोसा कर पुनः मोदी मैजिक के माध्यम से आज ये परिणाम हमारे सामने प्रस्तुत किए हैं।
तेलंगाना में अनुरूप नहीं आया नतीजे।
मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूंगी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता प्रतिबद्ध हैं कि नरेंद्र भाई के नेतृत्व में, हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी के मार्गदर्शन में हम पार्टी को हर प्रदेश में सशक्त करेंगे। आज के परिणाम हम सबके लिए सुखद हैं, लेकिन साथ ही 2024 में जीत का संकेत है।
Smriti Irani there, Union Minister, who also campaigned extensively across these poll-bound states. And the women factor, let's discuss that with our panelists. We have just about 5 minutes left on this bulletin. So, Sajjan Kumar and ma'am, please weigh in on the women voters. Are they the ones that have tilted the balance of power completely this time around?
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
You can go ahead.
See, if you see the variables that we employ to understand the election while we try to understand it before polling. So in Madhya Pradesh and in other states also, you see there was a consistent kind of a factor that BJP is trying more to encash upon the women voters, and Congress was trying to focus more on the youths on account of unemployment and the farmers on account of the inflation. That was, so women, youth and farmer were the three variables that we were accounting. Now see how, I mean, there is a further contradiction and subtlety. When Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Ladli Behna Yojana started giving benefit to women across from 21-year-old up to 59, half of the female youths were already won over by the BJP. So this binary of youth, Ladli versus Ladla versus farmers, these are kind of things that doesn't work. So overwhelmingly in poorer state, you find that more women are voting even for the kind of welfare schemes which may not be very much intense. We are also witnessing, if you see Telangana and compare Madhya Pradesh, what you find that in Telangana, the ruling party BRS was not doing bad. There were policies in rural areas, there were infrastructural developments, power sector was good, irrigation was good. There are also schemes, there may be criticism about their kind of efficiency. But what does it, the loss of BRS and the victory of BJP also signify that we are having two set of states in India. One are highly aspirational, wherein a ruling party may do pretty good, and yet the aspiration will lead to its defeat, as happened in Telangana. Because in IT sector, you see Hyderabad is on the cusp of outshining Bangalore and Pune. His son KTR is very popular. But if you see a state like Madhya Pradesh, which is aspirationally slightly at a lower index, even slight benefit, a monthly sort of income of 1250 and promise of 3000 galvanized half of the female youth voters in favor of the Congress, BJP.
I cannot not discuss the women voter without the woman on the panel, the only one. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, so Maria, I think first of all, if you look at the vote percentage share, I think there is a 4% vote share which tilts towards the BJP. If you look at the women vote share I am talking about, and this is a very high share, and this is because of all the facilities or the benefits which is reaching directly to the woman. For 60 years, women did not have toilets, they did not have water in their taps at home, and these are some basic things which are needed, and nobody actually bothered about these things. And this is the emotional connect which Prime Minister Modi first addressed: the toilets, the water in the tap, the health and medical facilities, the Jan Dhan and the DBT. The women directly are getting the money in their accounts. This is a very big thing. This is a financial independence for them, and sometimes, you know, they have to protect this money from their husbands who may be abusers as well. So these are some very small things which have a direct impact. Now, if you talk about the triple talaq, if you talk about women reservation bill, these are things which even the urban mindset is getting appealed. You have women participating in army, navy, air force. You see how they are getting empowered, women winning in the sports event, and how they are being encouraged.
Particularly in the state of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, the percentage of women voters is higher than men. Women may have very well shown the way in these elections.
Correct.
And they are now a constituency for Narendra Modi. News and updates will continue on the other side. Its picture is clear. Picture ab saaf ho chuki hai. Out of the 4 states whose results have come out today, the BJP has won 3, and Telangana has been won by the Congress party. In fact, one of our reporters is joining us. Okay, in fact, we are going straight to the BJP office where Ravi Shankar Prasad, the senior BJP leader, is joining me live. Mr. Prasad, you can say, Maria, maine tumko bola tha, and I have to believe that and I have to take that as well. Yes, you had said that all the states will be won by the BJP.
And I remember you were conveying a sense of disbelief as far as Chhattisgarh is concerned, and Rajasthan also. Remember? I said Chhattisgarh bhi jeetenge. Kaha tha na?
जी.
आज हम जीत गए. तो Well, Maria, let me put things in perspective as I see it. Today's result, 2/3 majority in Madhya Pradesh, a super comfortable majority in Rajasthan, a very decent majority in Chhattisgarh. It indicates what? It shows, in my very considered view, a tectonic shift in the polity of India. People of India trust a leader who has got not only the promise, but the ability. My very considered view, a tectonic shift in the polity of India. People of India trust a leader.
Okay. We'll try and connect with Mr. Prasad in just a bit. So the BJP leaders have all started arriving at the national headquarters. Yes, sir, please continue. We lost your audio for a brief while.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been rebuffed on the issue of caste census. Good governance. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. Our viewers as well.
Good governance, delivery on the ground. And let me give you an example. Apart from working in Chhattisgarh, I also traveled in Madhya Pradesh. I remember I was in Rath Yatra in Guna with Shivraj ji, with the state president in the area of Khajuraho, remote area. There, Maria, I wanted to believe in a very remote rural market, a lot of women were standing. When I was speaking, they were trying to capture me on their smartphone. I said, आप लोग को कोरोना का टीका लगा? तो कहा लगा. कहा पैसा लगा? कहा नहीं लगा. कहा कैसे आया? खबर? कहा हमारे मोबाइल में बताया कि पहला डोज कहाँ लगेगा. This gives you a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment that what is promised is there on the ground. Apart from Ladli Behna and others, there's the trust factor of Modi ji.
So when you talk about the trust factor, Mr. Prasad, will you say that there is a Labharti voter, a woman voter and a Modi voter, or all of them combined now?
All of them combined. And what is the foundation of this, Maria? Good governance, delivery, probity and propriety is coming to the forefront of India's polity. ज़्यादा भाषण मत दो, ईमानदारी से. और बाकी तो बड़े-बड़े वादे तो बहुत कर देते हैं, बट वादों को जमीन पर कौन उतार रहा है और कौन उतार सकता है, that is becoming the crucial element. Therefore, you see in Chhattisgarh what a narrative he has seek to build. And therefore, and you know, on the lighter vein, Maria, and this is a very interesting reply to the great institution of exit polls too, psephologist. I respect that institution, okay? We all like it. But exit poll के आगे भी एक बड़ी दुनिया है, जो हिंदुस्तान की दुनिया है,
लेकिन
जो आम वोटर्स की दुनिया है.
रविशंकर जी, मेरा सवाल ये होगा कि जो प्रधानमंत्री ने जो बड़ा बिरसा मुंडा का इवेंट किया था, रांची में वो हुआ था, उसका असर आपको कितना लगता है कि छत्तीसगढ़, मध्य प्रदेश और राजस्थान के ट्राइबल वोट्स पे पड़ा है?
देखिए, you are trying to see it in isolation, Maria, please. That is certainly there. Making Draupadi Murmu ji a respected, dignified leader as the President of India also had its impact. Ramnath Kovind, a distinguished Dalit leader from UP, being the President, has also its impact. All the delivery on the ground, including tribal village. The way tribal sportsmen have been encouraged, तीरंदाजी से लेके बाकी सब. The way Modi ji हॉकी खेलने वाली बेटियों को गले लगाते हैं, उनको encourage करते हैं. Don't you think it goes to the ground? At how much this Prime Minister motivates her? The way Indian women are coming in the armed forces, the way Indian women are taking a lead in Chandrayaan mission, the way Indian army women are becoming army officers and fighting, all has a cumulative effect that this leader has a great dedication for the cause of women empowerment and women development.
And Mr. Prasad, since you come from the state of Bihar, you are also a member of parliament from Bihar. My question is that soon after Nitish Kumar announced and released the caste census survey, other states, other Congress leaders, be it in Madhya Pradesh or in Rajasthan or in Chhattisgarh, they tried to make caste census a talking point. But if we were to look at this number, it's essentially a rejection of that politics as well.
Two things. BJP stands committed for the empowerment of the backwards, extremely backwards. But we hate the politics on that. इसकी संख्या कम करो, उसकी संख्या बढ़ा के बताओ. You know, that's the point number one. The second point, what is important is, you rightly said, the negation of this idea, Rahul Gandhi or others, is to be seen in two contexts. हम पर तो बोलते हो कि जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी, और वहाँ तो लालू का परिवार ही आगे बढ़ता है, मुलायम का परिवार ही आगे बढ़ता है, राहुल गांधी आप ही आगे बढ़ते हो, तो ये वहाँ भी चर्चा होती है. And the second, which is very important, Indian politics has travelled beyond this, Maria. You come to your own state, our state, Bihar, and see how there is sense of empowerment, entrepreneurship, aspiration, cutting across caste divide. And there they hope Narendra Modi is the answer. इसलिए आप बिहार के चुनाव का इंतजार करिए, वहाँ तो बहुत चलते रहते हैं चीजें.
तो आपका कहना है कि इसका असर बिहार में भी होगा?
क्या?
इसका असर बिहार में भी होगा 2025 में?
क्यों नहीं होगा? नीतीश कुमार जी जो नई नई बातें कहते हैं, तो मैं एक बात तो कह ही सकता हूँ आज आपके चैनल पर, हम दोनों बिहारी बात कर रहे हैं. अगर सब कुछ यही है तो 18 साल नीतीश बाबू कर क्या रहे थे? आप क्या किया आपने? बात समझ गई मेरी बात?
रविशंकर जी,
जनता सवाल
मेरा सवाल ये है कि आपने इस बार चुनाव में पार्टी सेंट्रल लीडरशिप had fielded union ministers, MPs in all the states, you know, particularly Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. The message was that all hands on deck, everybody is needed on ground. They were fielded as candidates. You know, you have been with the party since Jan Sangh days. I want to understand from you, what does it mean for the BJP karyakartas such as you, being an MP but going ahead and contesting as an MLA, you know, for the MLA seat?
I have lost you.
Can you hear me, sir? Sir, can you hear me now?
Maria, I have lost you.
Can you hear me now? Sir, we'll try and connect with Mr. Prasad in just a bit. We'll try and connect with Ravi Shankar Prasad in just a bit, but we have seen how BJP leaders campaigned extensively across various states, all the poll-bound states. The message was that each and every pocket of these states are important. Shivraj Singh Chauhan there addressing the karyakartas and his wife, Sadhana, standing next to her husband. This is a victory for the family certainly as well. Shivraj Singh Chauhan with the women of Madhya Pradesh distributing and, you know, throwing flower petals as well. This is an interesting, visual that's coming in from Madhya Pradesh.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the emotional connect is very much seen here. Mama ji is clearly visible in the pictures, I think. And that is how BJP has won this election. The woman voter was targeted, or I would say benefited from whatever schemes the BJP has outlaid for them, and they have seen that these schemes are reaching to the last mile. There has been a dashboard, how many LEDs have been delivered, how many gas connections have been delivered, and certain things like, when the price of the gas connection cylinders were higher, the subsidy was introduced at the right time, I believe. We have understood the nerve of the women voters, and that is something which has, benefited immensely for Madhya Pradesh, I believe.
Thank you so much for your time, Sumitra Goenka and all the panelists here in the studio. This remains our top focus. The BJP has won 3 of the 4 states, the results of which that have been announced today. It's a clear, decisive victory in the state of Madhya Pradesh, a clear victory in the state of Rajasthan, and of course a surprise victory in the state of Chhattisgarh. Lots more news and updates, lots more newsmakers lined up for you here on NDTV.
There once was a tree, lovingly made to look real.
This World AIDS Day, join the fight against HIV. I'm Ayushman Khurrana. This World AIDS Day on the 1st of December, come be a part of the Banega Swasth India campaign and be the change with me. One World Hygiene, 10 Kadam, 10 Kadam.
It's the semi-final before the big 2024 final. The high-stakes battles in the 5 states.
Can Gehlot stop the Rajasthan revolving door this time? Or will the Modi magic trump Gehlot ka jadoo?
Is this the toughest political battle for Shivraj Singh Chauhan in 2 decades in MP? Will Kamal Nath turn the electoral tables this time decisively?
This time, the BRS is facing a tough fight from the Congress, and the BJP's high-pitched campaign is making this a triangular contest in India's youngest state.
Baghel Banks on Welfare is keen to retain Raipur for Congress. Which way Chhattisgarh will swing?
There is a tough triangular fight between the MNF, ZPM and the Congress in Mizoram. The big question is, who will romp home?
The fastest results, data crunching, accurate analysis and newsmakers. The battle for states. 6 a.m. onwards, all day, on December 3rd on NDTV.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Give us a sort of profile without disclosing too much of it. But you know, the kind of startups that excite you today. Because Zomato, Policy Bazaar, Naukri, great innings. But I'm wondering today, what kind of companies, what are the elements of these companies?
So I tell you, we don't do it top down. We don't say, hey, this is a good sector, let's go for it. If we'd done that in 2010, we would never have invested in Zomato because there was no restaurant listing sector. We would not have done Policy Bazaar in 2008 because there was no insurance comparison sector. We look at companies that are creating new categories, entrepreneurs breaking new ground, and therefore we do it bottom up. We meet 1,000 startups a quarter, or at least look at 1,000 startups a quarter, meet maybe about 500, and we invest in 3 or 4 a quarter.
Okay.
Okay. And we start with first principles, bottom up. Is there some evidence of natural traction? Is there some indication that the value proposition is so good that the customer will really want this? Are customers using it? Are they happy? Are they coming back again and again? Is the company getting some sales? Right? Are customers paying real money for this? And is that real money higher than the cost? So that's the first thing. Then we look at the quality of the team and the founders. Right? And then maybe 100 other things. But these two are absolutely important. Very important also is there some IP that is being created or potentially can be created? Right? That matters. Because IP is what I think gives superior margins.
बहुत मुबारकबाद पहले तो आप इस ऐतिहासिक जीत पर क्या कहेंगे?
नहीं, धन्यवाद। हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी जन जन के मन में हैं, मध्य प्रदेश की जनता के मन में है। उनके प्रति अगाध प्रेम और विश्वास। डबल इंजन की सरकार ने जो काम किए, चाहे वो केंद्र की योजनाओं का आदर्श क्रियान्वयन हो या मध्य प्रदेश में हमने बनाई लाडली बहना जैसी योजना हो, समाज के हर वर्ग का कल्याण किया और विकास किया, तो जनता का आशीर्वाद मिला। अमित जी की अचूक रणनीति, नड्डा जी का मार्गदर्शन, कार्यकर्ताओं का परिश्रम, हम सब लोगों ने मिलकर काम किया, उसी का ये परिणाम।
लेकिन इतनी बम्पर जीत की उम्मीद थी लाडली बहनों? मुझे
तो शुरू से थी। मैं हमेशा कहता था कि हम शानदार सफलता प्राप्त करेंगे, क्योंकि जनता में स्पष्ट दिखाई देता था एंटी इनकम्बेंसी नहीं थी, यहाँ प्रो इनकम्बेंसी थी। कुछ लोगों ने हुआ खड़ा करने की कोशिश की थी कांग्रेस के, लेकिन सच तो यह है कि ये सरकार के पक्ष में जो काम थे उसकी भी लहर थी।
एक आखिरी सवाल, आज बहुत व्यस्त हैं कि आगे का मार्ग क्या होगा, क्योंकि 4 दफे आप मुख्यमंत्री रहे हैं, अब आगे मध्य प्रदेश का रोड मैप क्या है?
में से कोई अपने बारे में कोई फैसला नहीं करता। एक बड़े मिशन के हिस्सा हैं हम, कार्यकर्ता हैं। हमारे बारे में जो भी काम हमारी पार्टी तय करती है वो काम हम लोग करते हैं।
विपक्ष ने आपको एक्टर कहा, अभिनेता कहा, क्या उसको ये जवाब है? आप ये कहते हैं
ये जनता ने जवाब दे दिया, इसलिए मैं क्यों जवाब दूं?
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। तो मध्य प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान साफ तौर पर कह रहे हैं कि ये पार्टी के शीर्ष नेतृत्व और लाडली बहनाओं की जीत।
All the action right here on NDTV. The results are out. The trends are extremely clear. The final results will be out later in the evening, but it's very clear that it seems to be a 3-1 in favor of the BJP. What are the big takeaways that we find from these results? The Modi magic works in the Hindi heartland. The Congress is struggling to find a narrative in the north of India, in that Hindi heartland. The road to 2024, some say, these elections puts the Prime Minister in pole position. Congress has no counter to that. Voters' clear statement, it's Narendra Modi all the way. Modi ki guarantee works for voters in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and in Chhattisgarh. Only southern solace for Congress. KCR's national ambitions fall flat with that loss. Decimation in Telangana. Verdict 2023, the BJP on track for the 2024 polls. India bloc, what will be the impact of these results on the India bloc? The big question mark over the leadership of the INDIA grouping as well. So several questions raised there. I believe we can go across to our colleagues, Himanshu, who's there at the Congress office in Bhopal, as well as Uma Sudhir, who's joining us from Hyderabad. Himanshu, for the moment, what's happening? Have people all congregated to congratulate Shivraj Singh Chauhan? What do you see happening over the next 8 hours? A decision on the Chief Minister, is that a clear choice, or do you believe some?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Sorry, Himanshu, go ahead, tell us what's happening.
Yeah, I'm actually in Congress office, Congress headquarters in Bhopal, where the mood is very grim and the leaders here are shocked at the outcome of the results so far. And I have actually interviewed a senior Madhya Pradesh Congress leader, Vivek Tankha, and he said, and he admitted that we are actually disappointed. We expected much better result. We saw very good response during the election campaign, but on the ground, the result that are now coming are very, very surprising. They don't match the reactions, the assurances, the support that Congress leaders, Congress MLA candidates have actually got from people during the election campaign.
Have
so
you
we
got
will
any
definitely analyze
Kamal Nath
why
at the moment,
and what.
Himanshu?
Well, both Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh, we have been waiting to meet them for last 3 hours, but they have closeted themselves in a room in Kamal Nath's office here in the Congress headquarters, and we have been told that in next few moments they're expected to come out. But as I was saying, the first action that we have got from Madhya Pradesh Congress, Vivek Tankha, the Rajya Sabha MP, a close confidant of Kamal Nath, after meeting Kamal Nath, he has told NDTV that these results are very, very disappointing for the Congress party, and the kind of reaction and support that Congress leaders, Congress MLA candidates had got from people during the campaign and the result that is now coming out, they don't match. And Congress has now admitted defeat almost, and they are very, very shocked at the outcome of this result. They expected much better results, but they have said that we will definitely reflect on what went wrong, whether it is the issues and policies and the promises that we made to the people that didn't connect with the voters. So there are lots of questions, but at the moment Congress is in reflection mode, and both Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh are avoiding to make any comment so far on a very clear lead that BJP has. That's right.
Right, it's a big setback for the Congress as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. Perhaps I may argue a bigger setback was in Chhattisgarh, because when you spoke to Congress leaders on the campaign trail, they were nervous about Madhya Pradesh, they were supremely confident about Chhattisgarh. Obviously, much of the responsibility completely on Digvijay Singh and Kamal Nath there in Madhya Pradesh. It was virtually a campaign that was completely outsourced to the two of them. Himanshu.
Yes, of course. See, in Chhattisgarh, of course, they expected, because it is a tribal-dominated state, and traditionally for last several decades, our Congress party has had very good support in elections from the tribal community. And this time also, the primary focus of the election campaign was on tribal welfare, and we saw series of welfare schemes being launched by the Baghel government. And Priyanka Gandhi led the campaign. She extensively campaigned in Chhattisgarh. But the results, of course, are again very, very disappointing for the Congress party in Chhattisgarh as well. And that is the mood here. I can show you, I'm in the Congress office now, and as you can see, these are all deserted places. There's Digvijay Singh's vehicle you can see on the screen for the last 3 to 4 hours. We are again and again trying to speak to Digvijay Singh and Kamal Nath, but they haven't come. So a very grim mood here, and Congress, of course, very deeply shocked by the results.
That's the story of politics. A win brings everyone, a loss leaves everyone away. You're deserted and left alone. Though the Congress is not left alone there in the south, where Uma Sudhir is joining us from. Perhaps those two images on your screen, the one behind Uma and the one behind Himanshu, tells the story of a win and loss in politics. Uma, of course, we were just talking about Madhya Pradesh Congress office deserted. Here, all jubilation around Revanth Reddy's residence there. Tell us what's happening in Hyderabad.
Veera, I'm here at the Gandhi Bhavan, which is the headquarters of the Congress party in Telangana. Revanth Reddy is here. I met him a very short while ago. He doesn't want to talk on camera as of now because he knows that it's a decision. Everyone's being saying that he is going to be CM. The DGP and the additional DGP were among the first people to go and formally wish him even before the results were out. Kama Reddy, he seems to be leading. There are still a few rounds left, but he believes that that's what he called it as a lifetime humiliation for KCR is what Revanth Reddy said was the result out of Kama Reddy. What he is hoping for is that they should make about 67 plus, but I must say that the scorecard in the city itself, in the city of Hyderabad, is not looking good for the Congress at all. Wherever the Congress was hoping to be in contention, I just met with a candidate who in fact got defeated from the Hyderabad area, and he was saying that the gains have been made by the BJP in the city area of Hyderabad. Even otherwise, for the BJP, from going from their the gains that they have made in an Adilabad, the kind of numbers that they have shown challenging the MIM in areas like Bahadurpura, Goshamel, of course, was already Raja Singh of the BJP, and also Nampally. Nampally is one of the seats that was in fact with the MIM, but this time the Congress won in Nampally, and that's something that the MIM will now start having to look out and watch out for, because their own stronghold, which we have always spoken about as the stronghold, the 7 seats in the area of Hyderabad, that seems to be under threat. Another interesting development that's happened in these particular elections is that not just the Reddy community, but also the Kamma community seems to have voted for the Congress here. And very interestingly, you can see the Telugu Desam flags there, Veera. If you just, I think Nagraj is already panning. If I can ask you to pan the Telugu Desam flags there, along with the Congress flags there. Look at those Telugu Desam flags that are being fluttered by people who are wearing, in fact, yellow clothes that belong to the Telugu Desam. As we know, Revanth Reddy is someone who is considered close to Chandrababu Naidu. He was someone who, in fact, went to jail in the note for vote cash scam. And this was on behalf of Chandrababu Naidu is what we understand in that particular case as well. But now those equations, it looks, have played out well for Revanth Reddy, because the Kamma vote in Andhra Pradesh, the Kamma vote in Telangana, it seems to have come to the Congress party, the consolidation of those two leading castes, which are otherwise considered as politically dominant castes here. The third big story, of course, is the kind of showing that the BRS has done with hardly about 40 seats that they are managing to as of now. The fact that more than half of the ministers of the BRS, in fact, have lost the election. More than half of them have lost the election. Only KCR in Gajwel, KTR in Sirsila, there's a Prashant Reddy who's a minister, and you have Siddipet, you have Harish Rao. Those seem to be the only ministers who have managed to win. So the gamble of KCR to repeat the MLAs and to go with those very candidates against who anti-incumbency had perhaps built up in the last two terms of office, that seems to have really failed for KCR in that sense. And also the fact that, everywhere we went, that was the talk, isn't it? Vote for change. And that vote for change, the gainer has been the Congress, because they were able to, in a sense, capitalize on that sentiment among the people, even though we now realize that the anti-incumbency vote did get split up. between the BJP and the Congress in many places, the places where the BJP has done very well. We have seen that the anti-incumbency vote was also responsible, other than the fact that in those constituencies,
you're the only one
where you have
wearing
a
pink in
considerable
Hyderabad
Muslim vote,
today,
there has been the
or a color
polarization.
close to pink in Hyderabad today, Uma. You know, and as you point out, behind you, you're seeing the Congress flag and the TDP flag. As someone who's covered Hyderabad for the last 2 decades, over the last 2 decades, starting from the United Andhra days, to see the Congress and the TDP flag wave together is another moment. I mean, you know, it could only happen after the division of the state. You saw them come into an alliance last time. Let's not forget, as you point out, Revanth Reddy shifts over from the TDP. The TDP holding itself back is also, it's also some fascinating things. Just hold on to your thoughts, Uma. I believe Narendra Singh Tomar's bite, we can play on your screens right now.
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के लोकप्रियता की जीत है, उनकी योजनाओं के समर्थन की जीत है। मध्य प्रदेश सरकार शिवराज सिंह जी और उनकी योजनाएं जैसे लाडली बहना ने चुनाव का चित्र ही बदल दिया। मैं इस सीट पर कार्यकर्ताओं को बधाई देता हूं और जनता का हृदय से आभार प्रकट करता हूं।
Right, there's reactions coming in thick and fast all around. As far as North India is concerned, Uma, it's the BJP that's speaking. We don't have too many reactions coming in from the Congress. But you tell us about what you're picking up there, Hyderabad, for a moment before we go back to focus on MP, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Is there some clarity? What do you know of when there could be a CLP meeting? Do we expect a final decision to be taken by the 9th of December, which is Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's birthday, as was promised? And also, what we seem to have lost our line with Uma Sudhir there, who's joining us, who was there from outside the Congress office in Hyderabad, very close to the BJP office as well, there in Hyderabad, there, all jubilation and celebrations there, as she was pointing out, not just from the Congress, but remember the TDP abstaining from these elections, staying away from these elections, and those, so, you know, all those pictures coming into you from all around the country. I believe we can go across to Mohan Kumaramangalam of the Congress party. Mohan, thanks very much for joining us. In our part of the world, which is South India, you seem to have reason to smile, but up north in the Heartland, it's a decimation. I mean, which one was the biggest shocker for you, MP, Chhattisgarh or Rajasthan?
You know, Rajasthan actually, given that there's still this tradition over the last 30 years of them unseating the incumbent government, it's not much of a shock. In fact, I'd say if you look at 2013 versus this government, we only won 20 or 24 seats in that election when, you know, Mr. Gehlot limited government last time. And this time we're close to 70 plus. So if you look at it that way, it's actually improved. So I wouldn't say I'm very upset with Rajasthan. Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh are real shockers, without a doubt. I think the tribal vote moving away from the Congress in Madhya Pradesh and in...
Sorry, as you mentioned that, Mohan, I must tell you that on our screens, we're playing BJP visuals of Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Jyotiraditya Scindia. They are celebrating. You are an old-time hand at politics. What do you think? Ultimately, Jyotiraditya Scindia leaving the party seems to have cost it in Chambal. Mohan?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you there for a second.
Mohan, I was just saying that we're playing pictures from Madhya Pradesh of Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, all celebrations there in Madhya Pradesh. I just wanted to ask you, in hindsight, Jyotiraditya Scindia leaving the party and, you know, a reiteration of the Kamal Nath influence over Madhya Pradesh, Kamal Nath, Digvijay Singh combo over Madhya Pradesh. Has that what cost the party the inability to grasp on the anti-incumbency on the ground there in that state?
I think, you know, Mr. Scindia's influence is limited to his borough, and I won't even know how much that influence works. on an independent basis. I think he needed the BJP to cement his hold there, which is why he left the Congress party. So I wouldn't give him too much credit, if you will. Of course, we'll have to look at the details of where, what has happened in which seat before I can truly comment on how much of a difference his presence has made in the BJP. I will say that, it's interesting to note that wherever the Congress party didn't declare a chief ministerial face, where we didn't have, one particular person and we relied on collective leadership instead, we seem to have done well, which is Telangana. But where we've gone in with one single chief ministerial face, we haven't been able to convert. Like I said, the untold story, and I don't know if you've been talking about it, is the tribal vote in places like Sarguja and Chhattisgarh, Bastar, which we swept last time in the elections, actually leaving us in this round. That also was truly shocking for me because we have managed to get the tribal vote in the south, but in Chhattisgarh, where we had cornered it last time, we've completely lost our hold over it. So I think as a party, we need to introspect as to why we let that happen.
This is not often part of conversation up here in the north of India, but what is it that defines a potential ability to, create a sweep in Karnataka, Telangana? What is it that's, from your point of view, different about the south, and where is it that the Congress lacks up north? I mean, would you agree that...
That's a good question. It's a good question. It's actually something I've been thinking about since this afternoon, frankly. When I was watching, I was in another channel on one of the debates, and they showed a picture of the BJP workers celebrating in Madhya Pradesh, and they weren't saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai or something more regional specific. They were saying Jai Shri Ram. And Jai Shri Ram was the chant that they were using, a religious chant to celebrate their victory. I think maybe the one big difference is Hindutva does not have a foothold in the south and has tried in different shapes and forms to try and get a foothold, but has failed. Maybe some pockets like Mangalore in Karnataka or Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, if you will, but very, very micro pockets. Overall, the ideology has just not been able to establish itself in southern India. Right. And with Telangana going as well, I think we are well and true on our way to have a BJP-mukt South India. Of course, I'm not saying that we should look at India as two separate countries, and please don't quote me on saying that we don't need North India. The Congress party very much needs North India as well. It's just that I think we need to find a strategy to counter Hindutva effectively in North India, which is not a problem.
You need to find that strategy very fast. Just stay with us, Mohan, because I want to ask you a couple of other questions as well regarding to how this would potentially impact the INDIA alliance. But I believe we are also joined by BJP leader Bhaskar Ghosh. Sir, the biggest takeaway, as I may ask you that, in terms of from these elections, A, and B, when do you expect to have clarity on who's going to help the top jobs in the states that the BJP has banned? We seem to have lost.
I can't hear it clearly. Can you repeat this question if you don't mind, please?
Sorry, the more substantial question is, when do you expect us to have clarity on who's going to helm the top job in the states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, or should we already assume that the incumbent in Madhya Pradesh will continue?
I think the situation today needs to be totally finalized. The real figure has to be come up, and according to our laws and our practices, though we have fought the entire battle, keeping Mr. Narendra Modi as the chieftain, as a most stalwart leader whose guarantee is an assurance for rest of India, 140 crore people. But as far as the question of selection is concerned, as you know that we have got an parliamentary board, they will decide that whether, which state, who is going to be, and before that they will talk to almost all winning MLAs as well as the Sangathan over there. Then we will take a collective decision on this issue, and then we will be coming with a press conference and announce it.
All right, it will be a collective decision, you say, on all these issues. And as you point out, I think the takeaway I'm taking away, Bhaskar, from what you say is this, that the numbers will decide the road ahead. At a 170, it's a different choice. At 105, it's a different choice, like it is for the Congress as well in several places. Would you agree?
Sorry, I can't get the last part of it. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm asking you, do I take the substantial portion of what you've said as the numbers, the extent and the magnitude of the numbers that you get will decide how the party works around the local...
No, normally what happens, if you get the entire number, then you have the entire gamut of people who have been selected. And then it is easier for the parliamentary board members to communicate with them, to interact with them, to take their views. Right. And as I said, it's a very collective decision. So after talking to them at length, the top leadership will decide that whom to select and whom to give the responsibility of coming 5 years. And actually, you know, we are looking beyond 5 years. As you know, Honorable Prime Minister has given a blueprint for next 2047. 2035, then step by step. So we are making our leadership accordingly. So until we get the total numbers, the total number of selected MLAs to take their full views and how we can take a holistic democratic decisions.
Okay, important.
That was my point. That was my point.
No, it's an interesting point that you make there. I'm just nudging because we are television journalists. We want to know before everybody else. Obviously, you'll all take your time out. You have much more at stake. So, you know, we're trying to keep the television news rolling and we want to get that bit. But Mohan, coming back to you, what do you think the impact of today's result will be on the INDIA alliance? I believe, Mohan, we can't go across to Mohan Kumar Mangalam. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll try and address that question of what this means for the Congress as well as for the BJP in the road ahead to 2024.
So you want the
This World AIDS Day, join the fight against HIV. I'm Ayushman Khurrana. This World AIDS Day on the 1st of December, come be a part of the Banega Swasth India campaign and be the change with me. One World Hygiene, 10 Kadam, 10 Kadam.
It's the semi-final before the big 2024 final. The high-stakes battles in the 5 states.
Can Gehlot stop the Rajasthan revolving door this time? Or will the Modi magic trump Gehlot ka jadoo?
Is this the toughest political battle for Shivraj Singh Chauhan in 2 decades in MP? Will Kamal Nath turn the electoral tables this time decisively?
This time, the BRS is facing a tough fight from the Congress, and the BJP's high-pitched campaign is making this a triangular contest in India's youngest state.
Baghel banks on welfare scheme to retain Raipur for Congress. Which way Chhattisgarh will swing?
There is a tough triangular fight between the MNF, ZPM.
The victory there you can see it on your screens. You have Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, you have Jyotiraditya Scindia on the other side. Several key factors there in Madhya Pradesh, but the magnitude of victory, 162 to 66 for the Congress, is a huge blow for the Congress. As I was mentioning earlier, there was nervous anticipation about Madhya Pradesh, but I don't think the Congress or its leadership really factored into how difficult things could be in Madhya Pradesh. There you have those numbers that are playing out on your screens. 162 for the BJP, 66 for the Congress, and 1 for others, and I think 1 for BSP. I believe Vasundhara Raje Scindia is also about to speak in Jaipur. Let's dip into that. We can hear that as well. Potential Chief Minister contender, perhaps front runner there in Rajasthan.
सरकार गई ना on that. हाँ, that has changed. So expectation is.
During my Jhalawat visit, I was just trying to find out a single poster of Congress candidate. Not
मैं आपने ये मेरे को कहा नहीं. I also didn't look. I must say. I'm trying to remember. नहीं. Okay, we'll start. Let's get over this, and then we can sit and chat for a little while. So सबसे पहले राजस्थान की ये जो शानदार जीत है, ये माननीय हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, जिनका मंत्र था ये सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास, ये उसकी जीत है, उनकी दी हुई गारंटी की जीत है। ये जीत हमारे माननीय केंद्रीय मंत्री होम मिनिस्टर अमित शाह जी की रणनीति की जीत है और ये जीत हमारे माननीय अध्यक्ष श्री नड्डा जी के कुशल नेतृत्व की जीत है। और फिर सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट ये भी है, ये जीत हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं की, जिनके अथक प्रयास परिश्रम की जीत है। उन्होंने दिन और रात हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के जो सपने को साकार करने की पूरी कोशिश करते हुए उस दिशा में मेहनत करके ये परिणाम दिलाने का काम किया है। और सबसे बड़ी बात तो ये है कि ये जीत हमारे जनता जनार्दन की है, जिसने कांग्रेस के कुराज को नकारते हुए और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सुराज को अपनाने का काम किया है। और ये जीत 2024 में मोदी जी को फिर से देशवासियों की सेवा का अवसर देने की जीत, ये जीत है। सो दैट्स ऑल आई वांटेड टू से। मेरी तरफ से तो इतना ही है। और फिर आप बंद कर दो तो फिर अपन सवाल नहीं, नो सवाल,
आपने क्या देखिए कि
सवाल नहीं सर, नो सवाल। अब इसके बाद आप स्विच कर दो ऑफ एंड देन अपन बात करेंगे। ये नहीं करेंगे, चाय पिलाओ इनको।
Right there you had Vasundhara Raje there speaking there. Now in Bhopal you have Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Chief Minister, speaking. Let's cut in live to that.
उनकी रणनीति जगत प्रकाश नड्डा जी का हमें प्राप्त मार्गदर्शन, प्रकाश जी, आदरणीय भूपेंद्र जी, आदरणीय अश्विनी जी और हमारे विष्णुदत्त शर्मा जी सहित सभी कार्यकर्ताओं ने और हम सब नेताओं ने मिलकर कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ काम किया। फिर से भारतीय जनता पार्टी को शानदार जीत मिली है। ये मध्य प्रदेश की प्रगति और विकास जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने किया है, विकास को जनता का प्यार और आशीर्वाद मिला है। हमने समाज के हर वर्ग के कल्याण के लिए जो योजनाएं बनाई, चाहे वो लाडली बहना योजना हो, मुख्यमंत्री सीखो कमाओ योजना हो या केंद्र की योजनाओं का जो योग्य क्रियान्वयन किया, डबल इंजन की सरकार के काम को जनता ने आशीर्वाद दिया है। मध्य प्रदेश में कोई एंटी इनकम्बेंसी नहीं थी। कांग्रेस के लोग कहते थे एंटी इनकम्बेंसी, और यहाँ तो जनता के प्यार की प्रो इनकम्बेंसी थी और भरपूर प्यार आज मध्य प्रदेश की जनता ने लुटाया है। मैं मध्य प्रदेश की जनता को दोनों हाथ जोड़ के प्रणाम करता हूं और हम सब ये विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि एक एक वचन जो जनता ने दिया है वो हम पूरा करेंगे। मेरे देवतुल्य कार्यकर्ता बहनों और भाइयों, आपके परिश्रम को प्रणाम, संगठन की मेहनत को प्रणाम। और कई ऐसे लोग थे जो सामने नहीं दिख रहे थे लेकिन पीछे रह के काम कर रहे थे, ऐसे सारे साथियों को मैं प्रणाम करता हूं और जनता को अपना ये विश्वास कि मध्य प्रदेश प्रगति और विकास के पथ पर चलेगा और जनता के कल्याण की हर बातें को गारंटी को हम पूरा करेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। बोलिए भारत माता की, भारत माता की, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
That's Shivraj Singh Chauhan, but perhaps a major factor in Madhya Pradesh was also in the Chambal region, which the Congress swept in the last election. This is the region of influence of Jyotiraditya Scindia, who shifted over to the Bharatiya Janata Party. And earlier, my colleague Anurag Dwari spoke with Jyotiraditya Scindia in Bhopal. Let's listen in.
सर, आज की इस जीत पर क्या कहेंगे? ऐसी जीत की उम्मीद थी?
अनुराग, मैंने आपको कहा था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जीत होगी और आपने भी उस दिन मुझे कहा था कि मुझे भी लग रहा है कि यही होगा। आपकी सोच और हमारी सोच पूर्ण रूप से सत्य निकली। इस जीत पर अगर मैं किसी को प्रथम मैं धन्यवाद अर्पित करना चाहता हूं तो हमारे मध्य प्रदेश के एक एक मतदाता को मैं देना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ ये सरकार बनाई है। मैं उनके सामने मैं प्रणाम करता हूँ, नतमस्तक हूँ और उनके पैर छूता हूँ। और उसी के साथ प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नेतृत्व, जो एक पूर्ण रूप से लक्ष्य के साथ उन्होंने कार्य किया है मध्य प्रदेश के विकास के लिए, देश के विकास के लिए। गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी और हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जेपी नड्डा जी, उनका मार्गदर्शन, हमारी जो हौसला अफजाई हुई। और प्रदेश के अंदर अगर किसी को श्रेय जाता है तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक एक कार्यकर्ता, जिसने खून पसीना एक करके इस पार्टी को इस स्थान पे लाया है, और हमारे मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान जी, जिनकी जन कल्याणकारी योजनाओं ने ये परिवर्तन लाया है, और हमारे प्रदेश अध्यक्ष बीडी शर्मा जी।
और ये छत्तीसगढ़ में क्या हो गया? आप तो वहाँ भी
प्रधानमंत्री जी का देश की जनता के दिल में जो जादू है, राजस्थान हो, छत्तीसगढ़ हो, मध्य प्रदेश हो, एक इतिहास प्रधानमंत्री जी ने देश के अंदर जो कायम किया है, उसी का एक रिफ्लेक्शन है कि एक एक राज्य में जनता उनके साथ जुड़ी है।
बस एक आखिरी सवाल, मुख्यमंत्री चेहरे को लेकर बहुत सवाल हो रहे हैं।
मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता था, आज हूं और जिंदगी भर रहूंगा। उसी सोच और विचारधारा के साथ, उसी श्रेणी में मैं कार्य कर रहा हूं।
Well, let's also go across to the other state, and perhaps the biggest shocker for the Congress came from Chhattisgarh, where the Congress was really expecting to hold on to its incumbent government there in that state, but a confident former Chief Minister Raman Singh spoke to NDTV a short while ago. Let's just play that for you.
छत्तीसगढ़ में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बन रही है और जितने रुझान आ रहे हैं उसमें भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पूर्ण बहुमत है। हमारे साथ पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर रमन सिंह हैं। आप पहले भी बोल रहे थे कि 52 से 55 के बीच में, अब वो आंकड़ा पहुंच रहा है।
बिल्कुल लगता था, और पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ को घूमने के बाद एहसास हो गया था कि भूपेश सरकार के भय और आतंक से जनता ऊब चुकी है, भ्रष्टाचार से ऊब चुकी है, और बदलाव होगा।
अब आगे का क्या होगा, क्योंकि अब पूर्ण बहुमत आ गया है भारतीय जनता पार्टी को। अब जो चर्चाएं हो रही हैं कि मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा, तो क्या माना जाए कि अब डॉक्टर रमन सिंह ही मुख्यमंत्री होंगे?
नहीं, कोई डॉक्टर रमन के चेहरे को सामने रखकर चुनाव नहीं लड़ा गया। विधायक दल की बैठक होगी, पर्यवेक्षक आएंगे, विधायकों से राय लिया जाएगा और दल का नेता चुना जाएगा। हर बार यही होता है, 2003 में भी हुआ, 8 में भी हुआ, 13 में भी हुआ, तो वो प्रक्रिया समानता है और विधायकों के बैठक के बाद तय हो जाएगा।
आपसे जब भी मेरी बात हुई तो आप यही बोल रहे थे कि 52 से 55 सीटें में पूर्ण बहुमत के सिर्फ। बाकी अगर देखें, एग्जिट पोल देखें, तमाम जो लोग हैं वो ये आकलन नहीं, तो आप इसको किस तरीके से आकलन कर पा रहे थे?
पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ को घूमने के बाद एक नक्शा बना हुआ था और ये मालूम था कि भूपेश के घमंड को, भूपेश के भ्रष्टाचार को छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता भूपेश के चेहरे को रिजेक्ट करने जा रही है, और ये दिख रहा है पूरे चुनाव में।
अच्छा, क्या मोदी जी की गारंटी काम की किया और घोषणा पत्र ने पूरा ये लैंडस्लाइड किया?
निश्चित रूप से जो नतीजा दिख रहा है, मोदी जी की गारंटी सबसे प्रमुख रूप से, उस गारंटी पे छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता ने विश्वास किया है, और डबल इंजन की सरकार बनाने के लिए छत्तीसगढ़ की जनता ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को प्रचंड बहुमत से जिताया है।
सरकार बनने के बाद फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी, पहला काम क्या होगा?
पहले ही कहा हुआ है कि 18 लाख आवास की बात और जो घोषणा पत्र हमने कहा है उसके क्रियान्वयन की बात, महिलाओं को 12,000 रुपया देने से लेकर अन्य घोषणाएं, उसका क्रियान्वयन।
पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर रमन सिंह का कहना है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पूर्ण बहुमत मिल रहा है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने के बाद जो घोषणा पत्र में वादे किए गए हैं उन वादों को पूरा किया जाएगा। कैमरा पर्सन प्रवीण साहू के साथ जुल्फिकार अली, NDTV।
Right, from Bhopal to Raipur, now to Jaipur, where again BJP leaders out celebrating. My colleague Vedant spoke with Diya Kumari, who has won her seat, and or at least leading in that seat, and could be potential chief minister aspirant as well. Let's listen in.
क्या आप आश्वस्त हैं पूरी तरीके से कि बीजेपी पूर्ण बहुमत से वापस आएगी?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार राजस्थान में बन रही है, छत्तीसगढ़ में बन रही है और मध्य प्रदेश में बन रही है। इतना एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था, लेकिन एक्सपेक्टेशन से ज्यादा बड़ी जीत होने वाली है। बहुत खुशी है, सब में कार्यकर्ताओं में खुशी की लहर है और जनता में भी है। जनता अपने उखाड़ फेंक दी है इस कांग्रेस की भ्रष्टाचारी सरकार को, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ऐसी अच्छी सरकार, स्थिर सरकार, तो जनता के लिए काम करे, जनता के हित के लिए काम करे, महिलाओं को सुरक्षा दे, युवाओं को रोजगार दे, किसानों को न्याय दिलाए, ऐसी सरकार के लिए जनता ने वोट किया है, राजस्थान की जनता ने।
Well, yes, let's just to bring the overall picture into viewers who are possibly just tuning in now. Let's go state by state in terms of picture that's emerged all day. In terms of leads, Madhya Pradesh is the biggest shocker for the Congress. Obviously, those leads, several of them will turn into results shortly. BJP at 161, there you have on the screens, 67 for the Congress, 1 for the BSP, 1 for others. This was a state where the Congress was expecting a close fight, perhaps even a win. Some were saying around 125 in terms of Congress strategists, and this was a blow as far as the Congress is concerned, which had outsourced the campaign completely to Kamal Nath and Digvijay Singh in that state. Kamal Nath, of course, the champion of Chhindwara, couldn't pull his weight through in these elections, and it was Shivraj Singh Chauhan from the Budni with all his welfare schemes who has ruled the roost there in Madhya Pradesh. Of course, several central ministers, MPs contesting from Madhya Pradesh, strategic decisions by the Bharatiya Janata Party, which seems to have paid off there. The Prime Minister also heavily invested in campaigning there. So that's one of the biggest victories for the BJP today. Rajasthan, well, it's always been a revolving door. So several skeptics said the Congress need not be confident, but yet the Congress was confident there. Congress at least hoped for something there, but no, it's been undone by the Bharatiya Janata Party. 115 is an emphatic victory there. 199 of the 200 seats went to polls, and 115 is an emphatic victory there. The question, though, there in Rajasthan will be who will become chief minister of that state as far as the BJP is concerned. And as far as the Congress is concerned, what's the road ahead? Is it going to be a change from the old guard of Ashok Gehlot to the new guard? Remember that old battle between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot had played itself out in Rajasthan for the last few years. Chhattisgarh, and this is really the shocker for the Congress. This was a government the Congress hoped to retain. In fact, ministers in the government were very confident there. 45, the halfway mark, 46 is a majority, 54 for the BJP and 33 for the Congress. Even at the start of today, the leads were suggesting a flip-flop, and some portions, sometimes the Congress ahead. And this is going to be a huge, huge shocker as far as the Congress. Completely gone in these 3 states, and that's really not good. Remember, juxtapose that to 2018 when the Congress managed to form a government in Madhya Pradesh and held on to Rajasthan and won Chhattisgarh. A different picture coming in now in 2023. Southern story, of course, extremely different. Perhaps a reflection of the South-North divide. In Telangana, the Congress under the Revant Reddy managed to oust the mighty K. Chandrasekhar Rao and the BRS government, which has been the only government since the state was formed in 2014. K. Chandrasekhar Rao, the tallest figure and perhaps the most powerful figure in Telangana, was undone in the Kamareddy seat by Revant Reddy. That was a challenge battle, a prestige battle thrown by the Congress at Kamareddy constituency, where KCR asked 5-time MLA Gampa Govardhan to vacate the seat to contest there, and the Congress removed Shabir Ali, the traditional contestant, and put Revant Reddy there, where Revant Reddy is leading. So we'll keep a close track of all the developments that's down there. I believe I can go across to Anurag Verma, senior journalist. Anurag, in terms of the big picture, one factor is the North-South divide that comes out. The other, and I think perhaps for the opposition's point of view, a more important, prognosis or prediction one needs to make is what impact do you see on the INDIA alliance after these results?
Now, after seeing these results, I think NDA alliances might be in trouble. And because you accept it or not accept it, Rahul Gandhi will have to take the responsibility of this massive defeat. When India alliance, if we talk about India alliance, then how allies will depend or trust on Rahul Gandhi's leadership? This is the biggest question. And I'm sure what I can see, there are a couple of things what Congress has to and Rahul Gandhi has to realize at this point of time. First of all, Rahul Gandhi ji must have to understand and learn decent and politically accepted language in public space. Secondly, they also need a better faces in central leadership, because BJP is fighting all the elections, contesting all the elections through central leadership. We can see numerous central leadership, central ministers went to state assembly elections, which was very unlikely. And
so I just want to ask you this, Anurag, and I believe Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh of the BJP is also here with us on this panel. You know, how do you, because these assembly elections have been won by the BJP, you're saying that it's a reflection of what's to come in 2024. How do we make the correlation? Because assembly elections often tell a different story from 2024. Why make that correlation this time?
Look, everybody, all allies of India Alliance said that this is semi-final for 2024. And there are hardly 3, 4, 5, 6 months left for the 2024 elections. In this situation, we can accept that this is semi-final for next general elections. So, what I can see, this sentiment, BJP will continue with this sentiment, with this work on ground level to contest 2024 elections. This is my assumption.
I want to go across to Bhaskar Ghosh. Bhaskar, you know, how do you say, how do we juxtapose this with 2024? Often when, let's say the BJP didn't do well in Karnataka, it's often said that an assembly election is different from a parliamentary election. But now, do we take a cue from this for 2024, or do you think that that's going to be a different story?
No, you see, there is some correlation, there is some common, there is some common parameters. Because as we are mentioning, there is a double engine ka sarkar, double engine government. That means end of the day, be it a state election or the central election, the governance, the quality of governance, effectivity of the governance, policy of the governance is very important. Today, after this election in the 5 states, nobody can doubt that Mani Narendra Modi is the most trustable, the most honorable face in this country. So when this time he has taken the entire, he has taken the responsibility of spearheading the entire polling campaign in all 5 states, poll-bound states, except Mizoram. He didn't went to Mizoram so often. So his acceptance as a central government leader or the policy maker in the government, he is well established. Now the question is that if when the 2024 we will go for a Lok Sabha or the main central Lok Sabha elections, that time also they will understand that what Modi ji has given the guarantee in different
I'm sorry to interrupt you. As you're speaking, we are playing out live shots from the Rajasthan BJP headquarters. I just want to ask you this, sir, and it's been 2 steps forward, 1 step back as far as Karnataka was concerned, and I don't want to bring that example here. Do you see a generational shift in state leaderships of these 2 states happening, or do you believe that the BJP is going to try and stick to a tested formula right now, not take any chances until 2024?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Okay, so when 2024, it will be a different team working from the center, but they will work in tandem with the local leaders. So you cannot detach them in the whole integrated process of leadership, even in 2024. But of course, the main face will be respected Modi ji, but the supportive faces will be the leaders of respective states, where BJP has really recently owned 3 states. So there will be a perfect combination, followed by a policy and followed by some assurance and some promises and some guarantee, and that will obviously win the trust of 140 crore Indian population as a whole.
Okay, numbers never lie, sometimes don't lie, but these numbers on your screens are the final verdict that's come out today. Largely some things that will solidify by about 5:30 65 to 40 for the Congress in Telangana, 54 to 33 for the BJP in Chhattisgarh, and 160 to 68 in Madhya Pradesh for the BJP, and 114 to 71 for the BJP again there in Rajasthan. So those numbers tell you that story. Will keep continuing focus of all the developments. Obviously, the tug of war for chief ministership on in both the Congress as far as Telangana is concerned and the BJP possibly in the three northern states. Ankit Tyagi will be up next to take you through all the developing news. For the moment, we'll take a very short break here on NDTV.
Now I'm retired, I can spend more time with my grandson.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Tell you something, I'll give you a little story of something that we did about maybe 15 years ago. At that time, we didn't know we were doing AI. It just looked like a smart algorithm. Now, it'll probably be classified as AI, okay? Or borderline AI, right? So at Naukri, we've got 80 million resumes. Recruitment managers come, log in, and they search this database of resumes to try and identify candidates they want to contact to hire them. Now, because the 80 million resumes, we have a problem of plenty. So the HR manager, the recruitment manager, puts in some criteria, say BTech computer science qualification, 3 to 5 years experience, and keywords Java, C++, right? Location Bangalore, right? He puts these in the structured fields, and maybe 500,000 matches are found. Now, there are many unarticulated criteria which the recruitment manager cannot put in the form. But the moment he sees the CV, he says yes, no basis, judgment. So and therefore what used to happen was that in the first page of the finds, he'd find 2 relevant resumes.
Many were dubbing as the semi-final ahead of the 2024 battle, and if this was a semi-final, the BJP has hit it out of the park. 4 election results declared today. The only sliver of hope for the Congress party is Telangana, all 3 Hindi heartland states, except Himachal Pradesh at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, which is ruled by the Congress party. There is a total domination of the Bharatiya Janata Party north of India in the Hindi heartland states, whether it's Madhya Pradesh, where 6 months back everybody was talking about, and you kept hearing the fatigue for Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the BJP possibly in for a surprise as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. They are going to lose 20 years of anti-incumbency, so and so forth. And look at that hug of Sadhana Singh, that's the Chief Minister's wife in Bhopal. This will tell you the turnaround story as far as the Congress party is concerned, as the BJP is concerned. Not only have they been able to retain the state which they were in power, that is Madhya Pradesh, they have been able to wrest 2 states. Rajasthan, which has the roti palto rivaz as far as the state is concerned, but they have also been able to, surprisingly, in fact take away Chhattisgarh from the Congress party, which even till last night many did not give any, in fact, chance as far as the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen, ahead of the 2024 elections? As I said, it's a total domination of the Bharatiya Janata Party in the Hindi heartland. Prime Minister Narendra Modi emerges as the Neta number 1, the big leader at this moment who has no parallel as far as his popularity is concerned. Specifically, if you're talking about the entire north of India and also, northwest and the western part of the country, the only hope that the Congress party, and we're talking about the southern Indian states, where in fact the Congress party is hoping that on those 130, 135 seats, they would be able to possibly put up much greater resistance. Meanwhile, apart from that, for the Congress party, they have not been able to find a counter narrative as far as the BJP is concerned. Modi magic is, of course, clear. And apart from that, like the Prime Minister kept saying, the hope And, you know, it's very, very interesting. Everybody said that the Ladli Behna Yojana, the welfare schemes of Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the welfareism of the Bharatiya Janata Party, along with the bharosa of Narendra Modi, Modi ki guarantee, that has worked for the BJP in Madhya Pradesh. Why is it that the same welfareism push has not worked in the state of Rajasthan? Possibly many factors for the Congress party to go back and to the drawing board and think about. Was it the infighting? Because the larger narrative just till 6 months before the election was Sachin Pilot, Ashok Gehlot tiff. Could Mr. Gehlot, could the Congress party and their regional satraps, could they have kept their egos at bay and possibly gone ahead and been more accommodative of, let's say, somebody like a Sachin Pilot in Rajasthan, and maybe new election ideas as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned? Lot as far as the Congress goes to think about. This will have a huge impact, ladies and gentlemen, on the India bloc, which is hoping, which was building up some sort of a momentum. That momentum today comes to complete naught at this moment. And let me go across and take you, in fact, we'll keep talking about the inferences and what needs to be done, but the real magic and the fun of the election is on the ground. I'm being joined at this moment by my colleague Manish, who's joining us from Chhattisgarh, which has been a remarkable story at this moment. Vedant is also joining us at this moment. Manish, coming to you first. Till late last night, early morning as well, when the counting started, even the BJP leaders were hoping for a close contest. They were not seeing this kind of a result which we are seeing. It's a complete turnaround, and this turnaround will be at the cost of Bhupesh Baghel. He is, if I may call him, one of the biggest losers as far as the Congress party is concerned after these results.
No doubt about that. And in Chhattisgarh also, it is Modi ki guarantee which has really worked wonders for them on the ground, because whatever Modi promised three main things in the state of Chhattisgarh, which somewhere was they took the cue from the Congress victory in Karnataka. First thing was that he promised 12,000 rupees to women in one financial year. Of course, and they went door to door, they gave the guarantee, they even delivered all those forms, they got it signed, and Congress in the middle of the campaign realized somewhere that it is working real magic for them, and then they tried to top it up by promising 15,000. But somewhere this 12,000 which has come from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, somewhere the voters, whether it's a male or female, they really believed in his promise more than whatever Congress party leadership, especially Chief Minister was, Mr. Bhupesh Baghel was trying to offer them now. Secondly, when it came to paddy procurement, Congress was somewhere supremely overconfident that they had really paid a very good price to the farmers when it comes to paddy procurement. So somewhere BJP read that also, and they promised that they are going to give 3,100 rupees per quintal for the paddy procurement also, and they will also somewhere clear all the outstanding dues of 2 years bonus which was not sorted out till then, which was not credited to the farmers account. And then Congress party realized that it is also working on the ground, because once again it has been promised by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So they try to top it up, they try to offer it better the offer by promising 3,200 rupees per quintal for the paddy procurement to the farmers. But as we have we are saying in the case of Madhya Pradesh, but in the Chhattisgarh also, the rank and file of the BJP as well as in Congress, yes, somewhere they are all of the same view that it was the Prime Minister ki guarantee, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ki guarantee, which has really worked well for them. Yes. And that is why they are able to rest a state like Chhattisgarh, which was given by all the pollsters, most of the reporters. Of course, our colleague Anurag Dwari, somewhere whenever I used to talk to him, he used to say that Chhattisgarh is not a done deal. It is very tough for the Congress. Ankit.
And you're right. Look at the macro picture, and we'll go, in more details. And just give me a moment. Let me also bring our viewers flavor of the other victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Sweet victory for the BJP. This will possibly be the one that they will savor, the Chhattisgarh victory. Complete turnaround. Nobody was giving them a chance, and the BJP, in fact, winning at this moment comprehensively, 54, in fact, is the Bharatiya Janata Party. Every time, and the terms that the BJP had in Chhattisgarh, they have been in the 50s. It was the last election, 2018, was an outlier where the Congress, in fact, decimated and won the election in a thumping fashion. But in Rajasthan, the tradition, Vedant, has trumped all the hopes as far as Mr. Gehlot's welfareism is concerned. And a lot of people are asking the question, and of course for the Bharatiya Janata Party right now, the big question would be, who is going to be the chief minister?
Well, of course, Ankit, that's a later question, but a couple of things that we can break at this hour. First of all, Mr. Gehlot will be going to the Raj Bhavan at about 5:30 to tender his resignation. That is something that sources very close to Mr. Gehlot have indicated to us. So he will be going to the Raj Bhavan at 5:30 to tender his resignation to concede a defeat. In fact, I come to you from outside the Congress's war room, where Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot is currently in. In fact, he's about to leave any moment now. It was about a 2-hour long sort of introspection meeting that he had with the Congress observers, including, of course, Mr. Randhawa and Bhupinder Singh Hooda, who had come from Delhi. So they are, of course, introspecting right now. And after that, a press conference is also expected. But it's certain that now Mr. Gehlot will concede defeat at about 5:30. He will go to Raj Bhavan and tender his resignation. Now, a couple of other important points here, Ankit, also, is that very close Gehlot aides and big Gehlot faces have lost this election. Now, whether it is Satish Punia, whether it is people like Pramod Jain, Divya Mardena, these are people who Gehlot fielded in a big way, and they have lost elections by quite a margin. So that is, of course, something to look at as well. In fact, in Jaipur, where I come to you from, the BJP has made significant inroads. Only 2 seats have been lost by the BJP. In all the other seats, the BJP has won with a rather significant margin. Now, I was speaking to a couple of Congress, senior Congress leaders here, including Central Congress observers, and they said that, of course, they will come out with a joint statement later. But they say that, perhaps there could have been a pre-poll alliance as far as the tribal seats are concerned. That is something that, Congress leaders are conceding to, that, a pre-poll alliance and tribal seats could have been looked at, and also the caste arithmetic. Because remember, one thing that the news that's just coming in is that Jat strongman, Mr. Beniwal from RLP, he has lost. And, the BJP's Jat candidate has in fact won. So you look at how the BJP has gotten the caste arithmetic, the urban-rural arithmetic, as well as the tribal arithmetic right, which is why they've been able to sweep Rajasthan the way they have.
I think one of the underlining story, and that's election after election, is how the BJP as an election machinery functions, to the details, to the last dot, in fact. And their ability to bring out these kind of coalitions and to bring out their voters on the election day, that's something very important. While for the Congress, like in Madhya Pradesh, Kamal Nath kept saying Janta jitayegi, but eventually you have to also mobilize that Janta into converting them into votes. Another important factor, like Vedant was telling us, for the tribal, this is a story that cuts across states. Look at where the Congress gained the maximum as far as 2018 election in Chhattisgarh was concerned. Bastar, the tribal heartland of Chhattisgarh. Congress is being decimated there as well. In Rajasthan, in the tribal seats, Congress is being decimated. Go to Madhya Pradesh, in the tribal seats, the BJP has made big strides. So the tribal voter, the tribal outreach, and remember, on the day when the voting was in fact taking place in the state of Madhya Pradesh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Jharkhand for the Birsa Munda, in fact, anniversary, was speaking, was addressing a rally. All those things are very, very important in election, the management of the election, and this is paying dividends as far as the BJP is concerned. Let me also go across to the other center now, Bhopal, where, of course, Bhopal makes it 3-on-3 with Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Bhopal makes it 3-on-3 for the Bharatiya Janata Party. And interestingly, my colleague Himanshu is joining us. Himanshu, interestingly, the only chief minister who has been able to buck the anti-incumbency trend at this moment in the 4 states is Shivraj Singh Chauhan. No matter what, the whole theory about fatigue factor, mama se thak gaye hain, koi aur chahiye, all that has been thrown completely out of the park as far as Shivraj Singh Chauhan's massive victory is concerned in the state of Madhya Pradesh.
That's right, and he has proven himself as a grassroots leader. Remember, this for a very long time, during his tenure as Chief Minister, he has been repeatedly focusing on people-centric policies, and he has had a very, very aggressive political outreach during these elections as well. And here leaders admit, even Congress leaders admit, that he's perhaps one leader who has campaigned the most. He's one leader who perhaps went to most number of constituencies to seek vote for his party, and he's one leader who is rooted to the ground, and that's why the policies also, the Ladli Behna scheme, which is said to be the game changer in these elections, was one such reflection of his understanding of what actually people want and his outreach to the women voters. Remember, I was here on 17th November, Ankit, and the biggest change that I saw in terms of the nature of the voting that happened on 17th November was the aggressive participation of women voters. On that day, I had interviewed more than 100 women voters, and they were all very aspirational, aggressive about the fact that their voice also matters, and that reflected very well in the BJP's campaign. Both Prime Minister Modi and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, you remember, have had a very concerted strategy to reach out to the women voters. The outcome on the other side, I want to show you the Congress office here, which has been deserted for last 3 hours. And this is Digvijay Singh's car. He went inside when the counting had started. And for last 3-4 hours, we've been repeatedly trying to reach out to him, but he didn't come out. And this is Kamal Nath's cavalcade, and he's also expected to come out. And both these leaders have been closeted inside Kamal Nath's office, who is also the Madhya Pradesh Congress leader. And one poster I wanted to show you, Ankit, shows this story actually as far as Madhya Pradesh Congress is concerned. When we came here early in the morning, we saw these posters here. These posters were put up even before the counting had started, and it says, "Aa rahi hai Kamal Nath Sarkar." Congress was very, very confident about winning the Madhya Pradesh elections. Another poster here, it is still there. Kamal Nath ji ko Mukhyamantri banne ki hardik badhaiyan. They were so confident, the Congress leaders and workers here, that they had started congratulating Kamal Nath through these posters even before the counting had started. Now, after the counting, Congress office looks completely deserted here, and this is another story, a very important political story, because Congress is in a sense of disbelief. Congress is in a state of shock. I remember Vivek Tankha, who is the Rajya Sabha MP, close confidant of Kamal Nath, a senior Madhya Pradesh Congress leader, and in an interview to NDTV, Vivek Tankha has admitted that these results are disappointing, and he claimed that the kind of political support, the kind of political public reactions he had seen, Congress leaders had seen during the campaign, and the results that have come, they don't match up. There is a gap between what we perceived, what people wanted from Congress, and the manifesto, the promises they made, and the outcome in terms of what voters finally voted for. There is a gap. So he said that we have to sit back.
Between the BJP and the Congress party, it lies. The difference is this, that like what you said exactly, in fact, underlines the difference between the way the elections are fought and managed as far as the Congress and the BJP is concerned. Vivek Tankha is harping about what they perceived would be an election that they would win. The Bharatiya Janata Party went on to the nuts and bolts on the ground, made sure that they can in fact course correct every time they found that there is something which is not working for them. The Congress party went in this hope and perception that it was their turn this time to win the election of Madhya Pradesh, and this is going to be an extremely demoralizing defeat as far as the Congress party is concerned. And this close to the general elections 2024, it is going to be very, very difficult for the Congress party to trump back, in fact, in the Lok Sabha election. This is going to be a difficult road ahead. But let me very quickly also go across to the only sliver of hope as far as the Congress party is concerned. Telangana, the state which was ruled for 10 years since its formation by the BRS, KCR was seen as somebody who was hugely popular. People used to call him the father of Telangana. One man, and that man, at the posters of that man you just saw, Revant Reddy-led Congress party has, scripted history as far as Telangana is concerned. This is going to give at least to the Congress party, a lot of heart and a lot of hope as well, because south of Vindhyas, at least the Congress party can hope that in 2024 they would be able to, in fact, hold some sort of a ground. Remember, historically as well, every time the Congress party has found their going difficult, whether it was Indira Gandhi, post the emergency era, then in the 1980s, Medak, which now, in fact, erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, now in Telangana, that's where she fought her election from. So this is going to be another southern state that the Congress party has been able to win, and this will give them at least some sort of consolation. It possibly would have become the big headline if it was not for the margin of victory, the scope of the victory of the BJP in Madhya Pradesh, and of course the complete turnaround in Chhattisgarh. Telangana possibly was the big headline which could have emerged out of this election, overshadowed now by the 3-0 loss in the Hindi heartland for the Congress party. At this moment, where the numbers are stacked up, the Congress ahead in 65 seats, BRS in 40. Vineet Goenka, political analyst, is joining us with at this moment. We also have, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew, who is joining us. He's the spokesperson of the Congress party. Gentlemen, welcome. Mr. Goenka, smile on your face. The Bharatiya Janata Party doing quite well. Does this mean a complete domination as far as the Hindi heartland is concerned? Is it game, set and match to the BJP for 2024, at least in North and West India?
Ankit ji, Ram Ram to you and Ram Ram to all the viewers who are watching you right now. It's a clear message of two things: matchword versus abusive. I think the ranking against Hindi, Sanatan, ranking against Modi ji, went against the INDI. Whereas on one side there was delivery of schemes like the toilet scheme, the LED, the gas, and the DBT. On the other side, it was anti-Hindu, anti-Sanatan, and the caste. And probably people would like to see progress and the work which was done in Madhya Pradesh, both in Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. I would like to follow that particular path. The victory also tells one more: maturity is needed in elections. It requires planning, it requires togetherness. The differences and the confusion within the INDI alliance is costed them a lot. And 2024, it goes, I think probably BJP has to work harder because it has to prove better than this. So from today itself, I think Bharatiya Janata Party Karyakartas will be back on their job. They'll visit home every possible voter and convince them so that they don't go home completely.
I'm sorry, I apologize to you and to our viewers as well. There is some problem in your audio line. What we'll do, we'll try and fix that. And we'll come back to you while you answer that. But Matthew, Telangana, congratulations, a big victory for the Congress party there. But Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, that is going to hurt the Congress party. It is a very demoralizing defeat, to say the least. Both the states were for the party. 6 months back, nobody was giving the BJP any chance as far as Chhattisgarh is concerned. In Madhya Pradesh, your leaders were absolutely sure that they are winning this election. This is going to hurt. And just close to 2024 election, does this mean that for the Congress party, the road is going to be very, very difficult? You are completely barring Himachal Pradesh being decimated of the Hindi heartland.
Ankit, thanks for the congratulations on Telangana. And Chhattisgarh, we still have around 6 to 7 rounds more to go. And the margins are kind of, quite borderline. So it's too early for us to kind of close Chhattisgarh. First of all, I would like to thank the entire Congress workers and cadre, which really worked hard in all these 5 states, including Mizoram, where I'm sitting. I'm here for the last 3 months. There are people like me who have been in all these 5 states, leaving their professions and working hard for the party. And I would like to take a small correction on your word, demoralizing. For ones, who believe in the Congress party, victory and losses are part of our political journey. We are not demoralized by the losses. We will definitely look objectively into why our messaging, because all our campaigns were very spirited campaigns, highly supported campaigns. The top leadership, the 81-year-old Mallikarjun Kharge, the Honorable Congress President, to the lowest level of the workers, the leaders, everyone worked together. The state and the central leadership worked together as a well-oiled machinery. Our campaign manifesto promises and our campaigns were not bad. However, there is some sort of an area where we have to objectively analyze where our messaging couldn't connect with the voters, and what was the feedback, how better we could connect with the feedback.
Sir, but may I humbly then ask you this? You are saying that it's not demoralizing. Look at the lessons that the Congress party possibly learned from Karnataka and what you possibly have been able to implement as far as Telangana is concerned. A new young leader as far as Revanth Reddy is concerned. He has been part of other political parties, somebody who the Congress party gave a complete free hand. You've been able to use Mr. Sunil Kanugulu's, his team and his feedback in Telangana much better. Same cannot be said. Your own leaders would admit and say Mr. Kamal Nath was not as accommodating as Mr. Kanugulu's team and the kind of feedback that he wanted to give as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. In Rajasthan, you paid the price of the anti-incumbency against the local MLAs.
Ankit, can I ask you a couple of questions back? What is the age of our Prime Minister? If you're saying BJP is kind of doing something and what is the age of the local leaders of BJP? Kamal Nath is a very senior leader. Ashok Gehlot is a very senior leader. Didn't BJP had problems in Madhya Pradesh? Madhya Pradesh, they had 7
No, but the point is, sir, they have been able to manage those problems better than you, at least at this moment. Can I request you to stay on with me? Union Minister Jitendra Singh is joining us at this moment. Mr. Singh, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to NDTV. Congratulations first. 3-1 is the score at this moment. Everybody was touting this as the semi-final for 2024. You've hit the ball out of the park in the semi-final, sir.
Thank you, Adeo. Thank you for congratulations. And I think, to sum it up, I would rather say that this is a reiteration of the trustworthiness and the confidence the people of India have in Prime Minister Modi, and to put it in the popular jargon, trustworthiness of the Modi guarantee, and being implemented through the double engine arrangement. And I think, of course, the 3 states we had expected, but I would rather even like to start from the state where we are not forming a government, namely Telangana, which we were discussing right now. I think what Congress got there was by default, the negative vote against the ruling party. But as far as BJP is concerned, we have qualitatively enlarged our ideological base, our mass base. So I think that's very significant, because in a state where, without being modest, I must confess, we had certain contradictions. But despite the barriers of language, region, etc., and all the kinds of misgivings being spread about BJP, we have succeeded in making inroads. And I think, again, the single most important factor responsible has been Prime Minister Modi.
Okay.
The road shows, the rallies addressed by him attracted the similar crowds, the same number as was witnessed in Madhya Pradesh. So that has another aspect as well. I think it augurs well for the Indian polity, a new kind of culture coming in. We have for the first time a Prime Minister whose name acts as a binding cord across the country, north, south, east, west, northeast.
I
think from that point of view, we, as you said, 3:1.
Only.
Yeah, 3:1. But just let me complete this sentence. Sure. I said, you rightly said 3:1 from the point of view of making government, but I would rather say that even that we are not forming government, it's a significant achievement, which I'm sure is going to be spelled out by the analysts as the editorials start appearing from tomorrow.
So do you believe, because we've seen in the last few elections, when it's Congress versus BJP head-to-head, the BJP more often than not comes on the top. It's easier for you, historically, if you see in the recent elections, to take on the Congress party than the regional satraps. Now the Congress party ruling Telangana for 2024, do you see this as possibly a much easier battle than it would have been against BRS?
I think BJP is gradually enlarging its base, even in a state like Telangana, and yes, you may have a point in real politics, in the sense that when we are confronting directly a regional party, then sometimes the regional parties have have the advantage of raking up certain kind of a sentiment which would be exclusively pertaining to the region, which might not be fitting into the ideological framework that a national party and a nation-committed nationalistic party like BJP does. But that apart, I think Modi has tried to set in a new political culture based on development and based on welfare schemes. So that is, I think, something which is going to make a huge difference in the kind of work culture in politics that the future generations will also be, expected to follow. Like, for example, you have schemes like Ujjwala, you have Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. The benefit reaches to the one who needs it the most, regardless of caste, creed, region, language. And even regardless of the vote consideration. Nobody asks what party do you vote for, which are you going for. And secondly, those sections which were hitherto unaffected or not attended enough, like for example Vishwakarma, the traditional artisans who were earning their living through traditional arts and also keeping the civilization alive. They are as much there in equal numbers in a state like Telangana as elsewhere. So these are the sections which none of the earlier governments addressed to. So now I think, and with the new voter having come in large number, with 70% of the India's population below the age of 40, they see reason. So it's more of the benefit going equitably depending on who needs the most, reaching out to those who require us, instead of, getting carried away by the regional sentiment, which, as you rightly mentioned, could have been a constraint for a national party like BJP.
Let me ask you one by one about the 3 states that the party has won, and let me start with Chhattisgarh. Was this the sweetest surprise for the day? Because trust me, even in the morning, there are senior leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party who always thought that it is going to be close, but nobody was confident that the party is going to cross the halfway mark and will in fact trump the Congress party. The pollsters were not giving it to the BJP. Is this the sweetest victory as far as the BJP is concerned, and what worked it for the Bharatiya Janata Party?
So I agree. The tally may be higher than what we had expected, but victory would be there was quite definite. For example, I'll tell you how. We have a pattern of working in BJP. It's a cadre-driven party. So all of us are assigned responsibilities wherever the election and whatever the level of election, whether it's a local body election or assembly or parliament. So I was assigned Rajasthan, so I was based there all these months. But whenever we would exchange our views or inputs with our counterparts, those looking after Chhattisgarh, I vividly remember each time when I asked them, how are we doing, they would say with all the confidence that regardless of whatever is being put out, BJP is going to form the government. So those who were actually in touch with the ground and connected with the politicking happening over there locally were quite confident, because there's a huge amount of anti-incumbency, corruption charges, and I think above all, what has made difference both in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh is that people, the common man in heart of hearts, may not say so in many words, but realizes that there is actually benefit in having a double engine sarkar. Now, double engine is a phrase which sometimes, is taken by a pinch of salt. Many people don't even, like to appreciate it. But it does make sense, because many of the schemes like Ayushman Yojana, like PM Awas Yojana, did not find translation on the ground in the same manner as they have found in the neighboring states like Madhya Pradesh, or in case of Rajasthan like Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh. So the common voter understands that he is depriving himself of the benefit of that. So I think that's what strikes the chord.
You spoke about Rajasthan, and you've been involved with the state of electioneering as far as the state of Rajasthan is concerned. One question that everybody at this moment who is celebrating the BJP's victory is, who is going to be the chief minister, sir, in the state of Rajasthan? Can you give our viewers some clue? There were so many leaders of your party which seem that were in the fray. Who do you, at this moment, is current favorite?
No, I'm sure anybody, in my place, sitting over here from BJP would be put this question, rightly so. I appreciate that. But the answer also has to be predictable, because we are a disciplined-bound party. We have a pattern of working. It's not a dynasty-driven party. The decisions are not taken in the kitchen courtroom or sitting on the dining table between mother and son or father and son. So we have a parliamentary board, that the consensus is evolved. Observers are appointed. They elicit the views of each and every legislator separately, collectively, and then finally a decision is made, and the announcement is unanimously accepted by all. So I think the same pattern is going to be followed this time over as well.
The only state which has been able to buck the anti-incumbency trend that we have seen in these elections, because the government of Telangana lost, the government of Chhattisgarh seems to be losing, and also the government of Rajasthan. The only state that has bucked that trend is Madhya Pradesh. 166 at this moment, place 62 of as far as the Congress party is concerned. Who will you credit this victory to? Is it the Ladli Behna, which has just, completely spun a magic for the Bharatiya Janata Party?
No, I think you have made a very important point. Why no anti-incumbency in Madhya Pradesh when the same is being witnessed in Chhattisgarh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Telangana? I think one important reason, of course, the schemes are there. We have the Ujjwala and we have PM Awas Yojana, so many schemes rolled out. But what I was saying in my earlier expression is that two reasons, I think. Many of these welfare schemes, which are hugely reaching the last mile, and the last man in the last queue, rolled out by Prime Minister Modi, did not find the similar kind of translation in the states which were not ruled by BJP. So A. Second, anti-incumbency also, because there was no anti-incumbency in Madhya Pradesh. But anti-incumbency because of corruption, anti-incumbency also because the people there now becoming increasingly aware, thanks to the social media and all the channels of communication, the huge technology available around us,
right,
could actually understand that they were being deprived of huge benefit which was available to the other states. So that's the reason there was no anti-incumbency, because the Modi schemes found a saturation translation in Madhya Pradesh and were not adversely affected by corruption charges or by pilferage of central funds, which was happening in states like Rajasthan. You could see the full-page advertisements in the newspapers depicting the chief minister, etc., which doesn't happen when you have a double-engine sarkar, because there is a huge amount of accountability. So lack of accountability, lack of translation of the central schemes initiated by Modi on the ground, and also anti-incumbency because of the corruption again, due to lack of
in conclusion,
so I think all these factors have been.
In conclusion, before I let you go, sir, when Karnataka happened, a lot of BJP leaders said, do not extrapolate anything for 2024 with what has happened in Karnataka. At this moment, would the BJP want to extrapolate a lot out of what has happened in these three states? Is it game, set and match for Narendra Modi? Is that what the Bharatiya Janata Party now believes in?
Yeah, see, the mood of the people is now quite obvious. But having said that, let me also put the record straight. I would not be pretentious. These questions are put to us or asked because the mind conditioning of the observers is influenced by the half a century of the Congress rule. But here in BJP, we follow a different pattern. This is a 24 into 7 into 365 party. And just note my words. Today, the results have come out. By tomorrow or day after, I'm sure the party headquarters is going to summon the meeting of the next state which is going to the elections whenever it happens. So we are continuously working. It's not that we get charged only during election. We start visiting temples during the election campaign. So we have a pattern which is always, on the job. And election happens in the course of our, the ongoing activity, and it's taken that side. So, notwithstanding the fact that Modi ji is a huge asset for us, and today's result has actually boosted the morale of each and every Karyakarta, so also every countryman. Our way of working and the kind of input that is put in by each of the Karyakarta will continue unrelented even in the days to come.
Sir, congratulations today for the victory of the Bharatiya Janata Party in 3 states in the complete Hindi heartland. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me very quickly also, we were talking about Telangana, go across to my colleague Uma, who's joining us, Uma Sudhir, the only sliver of hope as far as the Congress party is concerned, but they have, as I said, it could have been possibly the biggest headline of the day if there was not this remarkable turnaround for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Chhattisgarh and, of course, the margin of the victory in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Uma, let me ask you this straight. For the Congress supporters and specifically people outside the Congress headquarters, it was the chant Revant for CM. Is that set as far as the Congress party is concerned, or could there be some last-minute surprise after this victory? All right, I've just been told there is so much activity there. My colleague Uma, the Congress is in fact, that's the only state where the crackers and the laddus all right, let me just bring you these shots as well. DK Shivakumar played an important role as far as Telangana is concerned in the campaigning. We were just showing you the shots of them celebrating, cutting a cake there. That's the only state the Congress party today would be celebrating, and at least for the Congress party, that gives them the silver lining that south of Vindhyas is still where possibly there is that recall factor, the popularity where the Congress can hope with their regional faces and the popularity of the Gandhi family, Rahul Gandhi possibly, south of India, that they can put up a strong fight in 2024. When it comes to the Hindi heartland, ladies and gentlemen, the big story is it's a total domination of the BJP. Those visuals, in fact, Revanth Reddy there along with DK Shivakumar and the senior leaders of the Congress party cutting the cake and of course, they have the bragging rights and the celebrations as far as Telangana is concerned. It was quite remarkable. 6 months back, it was not that everybody thought that the Congress party would be able to, in fact, script history. They have done so in the state of Telangana by winning it comprehensively. With that, those visuals, the only visuals where the Congress will be seen celebrating today. We are slipping into a very short break. Coming back, stay tuned. The coverage continues on NDTV.
More broadband switchers? Choose us. And this
This World AIDS Day, join the fight against HIV. I'm Ayushman Khurrana. This World AIDS Day on the 1st of December. Come be a part of the Banega Swasth India campaign and be the change with me. One World Hygiene. 10 kadam, 10 kadam.
It's the semi-final before the big 2024 final. The high-stakes battles in the 5 states.
Can Gehlot stop the Rajasthan revolving door this time? Or will the Modi magic trump Gehlot ka jadoo?
Is this the toughest political battle for Shivraj Singh Chauhan in 2 decades in MP? Will Kamal Nath turn the electoral tables this time decisively?
This time, the BRS is facing a tough fight from the Congress, and the BJP's high-pitched campaign is making this a triangular contest in India's youngest state.
Baghel Banks on Welfare is keen to retain Raipur for Congress. Which way Chhattisgarh will swing?
There is a tough triangular fight between the MNF, ZPM and the Congress in Mizoram. The big question is, who will drum home?
The fastest results, data crunching, accurate analysis and newsmakers. The battle for states. 6 a.m. onwards, all day, on December 3rd on NDTV.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins. As it is being said now in the state of Madhya Pradesh, with the BJP winning 165, its biggest victory ever in the last 20 years. Congress at 63, one of the most shameful defeats that the Congress has faced in recent times. Coming to the state of Rajasthan, convincing victory again, but perhaps a number of 70 would give some kind of relief to the Congress party, although it was hoping that it will be a close call or a cliffhanger. That was not to be in the state of Rajasthan. Look at the numbers of Chhattisgarh. Who would have thought that a convincing chief minister who has, none of the exit polls really gave any chance to the BJP in the state of Chhattisgarh, but they came from behind certainly and have managed to form the government. They are forming the government, but who will be the chief minister in all these states? That is something that we'll have to wait and see. But look at those visuals, and I will try and connect with the reporters in just a bit. Telangana, the overall numbers, that's the only relief for the Congress party, with 64 seats having won. Uma Sudhir is joining us live. Uma, so the man of the moment, Revanth Reddy, is back in Hyderabad. He has managed to win and defeat the chief minister himself. So, it will be fair to say that because the Congress made it a one-on-one battle in Kamareddy, they wanted to send that message that he is the man taking on the chief minister, so he is potential chief minister.
He's certainly the potential chief minister, and even the police chief of Telangana seems to think so, because even before that announcement, we saw the DGP Anjani Kumar, and also the additional DGP Mr. Sanjay Jain going in and greeting Revanth Reddy when it started appearing as though he is going to be the winner. While he is certainly the front runner and the favorite among the crowds as well, because wherever he goes, the big slogans of he is about to also address a press conference in a short while from now. DK Shivakumar is here and other leaders as well. But I must point out that while Revanth Reddy, as the Telangana Congress chief, also is the front runner, there are others in contention as well, like Komat Reddy, Venkat Reddy, who has about 35 years experience in the Congress itself, and claims that because he has won all the assembly constituencies in his district and has delivered with the highest majority or margin in his own constituency, he should be considered as well. He is said to be again, claims to be close to the Gandhi family as well. There's other contenders like Bhatti Vikramarka, Damodar Raj Narasimha, Uttam Kumar Reddy. There is also the face of the Reddy community, also the face of the SC community, who are all in contention to be chief minister here. I met Mr. Revanth Reddy a short while ago. He doesn't want to talk too early. He does know that Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi are likely to go for him. What we understand is that the understanding is that he would be made the minister, and the others who are contenders in this, according to the caste equations as well as regional equations, will be accommodated in the cabinet. Perhaps we'll have one deputy chief minister or more.
I want to understand what exactly has been the result in Kamareddy, because there are reports suggesting that perhaps it is the BJP candidate which has defeated both the chief minister, that is KCR, and also and also potential chief minister in Revanth Reddy. What exactly is the result in Kamareddy?
So, when I met Revanth Reddy a short while ago and asked him about Kamareddy, what he said was that this is a huge disappointment for KCR, and he said this is a lifetime humiliation for KCR. That's how he put it. I said, are you likely to scrape through? Because at that stage, he was only at 2,500 ahead of the BJP candidate. Like you rightly mentioned, Venkatram Reddy is the BJP candidate, and he is considered, he is a local, and his chances were being favored in the town of Kamareddy as well as by the youth there. He said, why are you still having any doubts, Umaji? I am going to be the winner there. I have not been able to follow the last round to be able to know if Revanth Reddy did emerge the winner. But the fact that he continued to have 2,500 or 2,000 as his lead every time after even the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th rounds, it does appear that he has managed to actually surprise everyone, because when people were talking about him perhaps being third, that he may turn out third in Kamareddy, but everyone here is in fact calling it the Revanth magic that he managed to win.
We have a newsmaker joining us live from the BJP headquarters. INB Minister Anurag Thakur is joining us live. अनुराग जी, 3 स्टेट के चुनाव जो सबसे अहम है हिंदी बेल्ट में, छत्तीसगढ़, मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान, तीनों में आपकी जीत किस तरह से देख रहे हैं आप?
हमारे जी जीत खास है, जनता को मोदी जी पर विश्वास है, मोदी मैजिक चला है और जनता ने एक ही गारंटी पर विश्वास किया है, मोदी की गारंटी। और मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि जनता का दिल की गहराइयों से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आभार कि उन्होंने डबल इंजन सरकार बनाने के लिए जो मोहर लगाई है, हम डबल विकास और सुशासन इंश्योर करेंगे। और ये मोदी की गारंटी ही है, जिसने, अगर आप मध्य प्रदेश में देखेंगे तो वहाँ पर जीत इतनी बड़ी हुई है, ऐतिहासिक हुई है, कि साथ वाले राज्यों को भी लगा कि पिछले 5 वर्षों में भाजपा की सरकार नहीं थी तो बहुत नुकसान हुआ। महिला अपराध और भ्रष्टाचार के मामले बहुत बड़े, पेपर लीक के मामले बड़े, जो वायदे किए थे वो झूठे हुए, तो कांग्रेस को जनता ने नकार दिया है। और छत्तीसगढ़ की बात करूं तो महादेव का श्राप कांग्रेस साफ, गौ माता का श्राप कांग्रेस साफ, गंगा जल की झूठी कसम खाई थी माँ गंगा का श्राप कांग्रेस साफ, और गरीब जनता के साथ जो भेदभाव और झूठ बोला जनता का श्राप कांग्रेस साफ।
लेकिन छत्तीसगढ़ में तो कोई भी एग्जिट पोल्स आपकी सरकार नहीं बना रहे थे, यहाँ पर तो 53 आ गया, और मध्य प्रदेश 165, इट इज द बिगेस्ट विक्ट्री ऑफ द बीजेपी एवर। मेरा सवाल ये है कि ये तो प्रो इनकम्बेंसी का भी प्रो इनकम्बेंसी, अनुराग जी, सवाल ये उठेगा कि क्या किया आपने सही मध्य प्रदेश में और छत्तीसगढ़ में?
मैं पहले छत्तीसगढ़ पे आना चाहता हूँ। छत्तीसगढ़ में कांग्रेस के लिए एटीएम बन गया था, भ्रष्टाचार का अड्डा, उग्राही का अड्डा, और पैसा कमाकर वो केंद्र के पार्टी तक पहुंचाने का काम। भ्रष्टाचार एक के बाद दूसरे, और जनता मान चुकी थी। जैसे महादेव ऐप घोटाला आया, आपको याद होगा उससे पहले मैंने भूपे ऐप लॉन्च किया था वहाँ पर, और मैंने कहा था भ्रष्टाचार करो भूपे करो, यानी कि भ्रष्टाचार करके भूपेश बघेल जी को पेमेंट करो, और ऐसा चिपका। और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने भी जाकर जब कहा कि इन्होंने तो महादेव को भी नहीं छोड़ा, तो लोगों को वापस एक बार वापस याद कराना कि शराब घोटाला, कोयला घोटाला, गोठान घोटाला, महादेव ऐप घोटाला, घोटाले पे घोटाला, कांग्रेस के छत्तीसगढ़ का राज्य बन गया था। पेपर लीक एक नहीं अनेक, राजस्थान में 19 पेपर लीक हुए, तो छत्तीसगढ़ में तो पूरी कांग्रेस का ऐसा लगता था उन्हीं के लिए सरकार नौकरियां निकाल रही है। तो जनता का विश्वास उठ चुका था। जहां मध्य प्रदेश की बात है, आप देखिए जनता ने जो 1.5 साल देखा बीच में कांग्रेस का, उस समय कांग्रेस के नेता ही उनके छुट्टी पा गए थे, और कांग्रेस के नेताओं ने ही कहा था कि अब कमलनाथ जी की सरकार नहीं चाहिए, हमें कमल वाली सरकार चाहिए। तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जब फिर अवसर मिला तो शानदार नेतृत्व वहाँ पर शिवराज जी ने दिया, सरकार शानदार चली, और डबल इंजन का लाभ लोगों ने देखा, तभी तो वापस तीनों राज्यों में डबल इंजन की सरकार बनाई।
अनुराग जी, आप भी ये तीनों स्टेट में कैंपेन कर रहे थे, पर्टिकुलरली यूथ वोटर्स या युवा वोटर के बीच में आप काफ़ी दिखे हैं। मेरा सवाल ये है कि फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर्स ने क्यों भाजपा का साथ दिया? विमेन वोटर्स के बारे में तो अब कहा जाता है कि एक कास्ट न्यूट्रल कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी, एक जेंडर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी नरेंद्र मोदी के साथ खड़ी हो रही है।
देखिए, युवा अपना वर्तमान और भविष्य देखते हैं, और जब वो देखते हैं कि अगर दुनिया अपना भविष्य भारत के साथ देख रही है और भारत के नेतृत्व में विश्वास कर रही है, तो युवा तो बहुत समझदार है भारत का। मोदी सरकार की नीतियां जो युवाओं के हित में हैं। स्टार्टअप इंडिया देखिए, भारत कहीं नहीं था 2014 में, आज दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी शक्ति बन गई है। आज हमारे जो बाकी मेक इन इंडिया प्रोग्राम हो या आत्मनिर्भर भारत हो, उसका ये फ़र्क देखने को मिलता है कि भारत 10वें से 5वीं सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बन गया। हम दुनिया के सबसे बड़े खाद्यान्न से लेकर दूध उत्पादन वाले देश बन गए। सेकंड लार्जेस्ट हम लोग स्टील से मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर बन गए, और थर्ड लार्जेस्ट ऑटोमोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर बन गए। एक के बाद दूसरी हमने कीर्तिमान स्थापित किए। यूपीआई भीम या डिजिटल पेमेंट्स की बात करूं, दुनिया में नंबर 1 भारत है, 46% पेमेंट दुनिया की भारत में होती है। तो युवा देखते हैं कि एक ईमानदार सरकार केंद्र में है, और राज्यों में भी जहां इनकी सरकारें वो ईमानदारी से काम कर रही हैं। तो युवा केवल चाहता है नीति ऐसी जहां पे उनको अवसर मिले। तो आज का युवा नौकरी लेने वाला नहीं, देने वाला बनना चाहता है, और युवाओं को एक अपनी भूमिका मोदी जी के साथ इस देश को विकसित राष्ट्र बनाने में नजर आती है।
छत्तीसगढ़, मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान, तीनों राज्यों में अनुराग जी भाजपा किसी चेहरे के साथ नहीं गई, नरेंद्र मोदी के अंडर में कलेक्टिव लीडरशिप के साथ गई है। तो क्या ये माना जाए कि ये सब स्टेट में एक एक्नॉलेजमेंट भी था कि स्टेट लीडरशिप कमज़ोर है, इसलिए ब्रांड नरेंद्र मोदी ही क्लिक कर सकता है?
आपने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा, ये सही है। हम लोग नरेंद्र मोदी जी के चेहरे को लेकर ही गए, और हमें विश्वास भी था कि जनता मोदी जी पर जो विश्वास करती है उसका लाभ भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इन चुनावी राज्यों में मिलेगा। और ये बम्पर जीत, ऐतिहासिक जीत, ये मोदी मैजिक के कारण है। जनता ने दिखा दिया है कि झूठी गारंटी नहीं चलेगी। घमंडिया गठबंधन का घमंड और अहंकार चूर चूर किया है। जिन्होंने पत्रकारों को भी विरोध किया, तिरस्कार किया, जनता ने उनको नकारने का काम किया है। जनता जानती है कि अगर आप जातिवाद के नाम पर बांटोगे तो जनता को सुशासन और विकास चाहिए, जातिवाद नहीं चाहिए। अब कांग्रेस क्षेत्रवाद पे चली है, वो कहती है उत्तर और दक्षिण करने का काम। मैं फिर कहना चाहता हूँ, राहुल गांधी जी ने वायनाड से कहा था कि उत्तर के लोगों को पता नहीं जो दक्षिण के लोगों को पता है। उन्होंने अपमान किया था उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों का, या उस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी का भी जहाँ से वो कई बार सांसद चुनकर गए। अब जनता ये सब बड़ी बारीकी से देखती है।
लेकिन
जनता को क्षेत्र में नहीं बंटना, जाति धर्म में नहीं बंटना है।
लेकिन अनुराग जी, अगर मोदी मैजिक हिंदी बेल्ट में काम कर रहा है तो तेलंगाना में आप तीसरे नंबर पे क्यों हैं? चौथे नंबर पे भी हो सकता है।
मारिया जी, इसमें मैं आपको एक स्पष्ट करूं, हमारी पिछली बार 1 सीट थी, आज 9 सीट की बात आती है। 9 गुना ज़्यादा सीटों में और वोट बैंक में 7% से बढ़कर 15% होना, दुगने से ज़्यादा होना, ये बहुत बड़ी छलांग है। दूसरी बात मैं कहूँ, बाई इलेक्शन हुए, उसमें 2 बाई इलेक्शन भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीती, कांग्रेस तीसरे नंबर पे थी। ग्रेटर हैदराबाद म्यूनसिपल कमेटी के चुनाव हुए, हमारा वोट शेयर देखिए जी कहाँ पे, और उस समय हमारी सीटें रिकॉर्ड सीटें जीत कर आई। वातावरण जो प्रदेश में खड़ा किया बीआरएस के खिलाफ भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने किया। ये बात सही है कि सरकार हम नहीं बना पाए, लेकिन रिकॉर्ड हमने सीटें जीती हैं पिछली बार की तुलना में, और हमारा वोट शेयर भी दुगने से ज़्यादा हुआ है।
छत्तीसगढ़, मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान, अनुराग जी, तीनों राज्य आप 2018 में हारे थे, लेकिन 2019 में एक स्वीप था, मोदी वेव था जो दिखा था, और इस बार तीनों राज्य आप जीत रहे हैं, तो 2024 में क्या होगा?
जनता का आशीर्वाद फिर 2024 में मिलेगा। जनता जब जब मोदी जी को आशीर्वाद देती है, पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार बनती है और देश आगे बढ़ता है, गरीबों का कल्याण होता है। जनता ने देखा है कि 13.5 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी रेखा से बाहर पिछले 5 सालों में आए। अब उम्मीद है कि अगले 5 सालों में और बाहर आएंगे और गरीबों का कल्याण होगा। अगर 4 करोड़ पक्के मकान, 12 करोड़ शौचालय, 9.5 करोड़ बहनों को रसोई गैस का सिलेंडर, 13 करोड़ घरों को नल से जल, 60 करोड़ लोगों को 5 लाख का इलाज और 80 करोड़ से ज़्यादा गरीबों को मुफ्त में अनाज मिला है, तो जनता चाहती है कि आगे भी मिलता रहे। तो फिर एक बार मोदी सरकार ही 2024 में भी बनाएंगे।
आखिरी सवाल, फिर एक बार मोदी सरकार आप कह रहे हैं 2024 में। बीजेपी मशीनरी कभी थकती नहीं है। एक चुनाव खत्म होता है, दूसरी चुनाव की तैयारी होती है। अभी आप बीजेपी हेडक्वार्टर्स में हैं, तैयारी 2024 की शुरू हो चुकी है। मेरा सवाल है, प्रधानमंत्री थोड़ी देर में आने वाले हैं, तो किस तरह का स्वागत का इंतजाम किया गया है?
हम तो एक ही नारे के साथ चलते हैं, चरेवेती चरेवेती चरेवेती। न थकना है, न रुकना है, बस निरंतर चलते रहना है और लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति जो विकसित भारत 2047 तक बनाना है, उसमें हर भारतीय को योगदान देना है और हर भारतीय को उससे पहले भाजपा को जिताकर सत्ता में लाकर देश के कल्याण के लिए काम करने के लिए चुनना है।
आप ये भी मानते हैं कि पर्सनल अटैक्स जो हुआ है प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी के अगेंस्ट में, वो हमेशा बैकफायर करता है, और क्या ये रिजल्ट्स उसी का एक संकेत है?
हमारी अच्छी, अगर आप देखें, जब जब कांग्रेस ने गुजरात से लेकर देश के चुनावों में मोदी जी पर अपशब्द कहे, अपमान किया है, कीचड़ उछाला है, जितना कीचड़ उछाला उतना ही कमल खिला है। जितने अपशब्द कहे मोदी जी उतने निखर कर बाहर आए हैं, क्योंकि मोदी जी को जवाब नहीं देना पड़ता, जनता वोट से जवाब देती है और मोदी जी के हित में देती है।
Anurag Thakur, really appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to NDTV and the minister there. Part of the celebrations that will begin at the BJP headquarters shortly. Yes, it's a day of big celebrations for the BJP. They have reasons to cheer. 3 states won, 3 states that they had lost in 2018 and won. What a victory. What a victory it has been for the party. Lots more news and updates on the other side. That's all from me. This remains our top focus here on NDTV.
This is the most wonderfully auntie. She's turning Clara and Henry What is it about the governance lapses that we've seen in recent times that have been allowed to escalate in the Indian startup universe? And we're not getting into specifics here, but you have boards and you have hefty investors, and you think there's a lot of wisdom sitting around the table, and yet these things happen. Why?
I think very simply, when investors go in, they diligence the company, they diligence the founder, and they conclude that the founder is honest and trustworthy. Right? And that is the case in 95% of the situations. Most Indian founders are trustworthy and honest. Right? But there are maybe 2, 3, 4, 5% who perhaps are not that clean. Right? And those are the cases that have got highlighted actually. And now having said that, I think a lot will depend on what actions investors take after they discover this. And you certainly can't let things be. That's not a good idea in my view.
Is there a middle sort of category of governance lapses, which is, you know, chasing growth at the cost of strong processes? I mean, I'm trying to understand if there's a redeeming type of mistake or governance path.
So you can make mistakes of business judgment, right? Those are honest mistakes. But stuff where you have been taking money out of the company, taking kickbacks,
I mean, that's
on an integrity issue. So really, when you're talking governance lapses, the big ones are where there's an integrity issue. Right? If there's a process lapse here or a process lapse there, you know, you'll say, okay, fix it. Make sure it doesn't happen again.
Or just not scaling up checks and balances to match the, you know, the growth. I mean, that's also a type of governance lapse.
That is a governance lapse, but that is not an integrity lapse.
Right.
You've got to distinguish between integrity lapses and other lapses.
Hello, good evening and welcome to this continuous presentation of the big day. The day of the counting for the 4 today, 1 tomorrow, states which went to the polls, dubbed as the semi-final ahead of 2024. I am Ankit Tyagi, my colleague Vasudha Venugopal also in the studio with me. But Vasudha, what a day has this been for the Bharatiya Janata Party, from looking at, you know, maybe one state to a 2-2 at this moment, standing at 3-1, a total domination as far as the Hindi heartland is concerned.
Absolutely, and you know, Ankit, I think they got, the BJP did get some of the things really right in Madhya Pradesh, you know, with this whole Samuhik Netrutva, that is collective leadership, and you had 12 leaders on every hoarding, and 7 MPs, ministers fighting, heavyweights fighting from regions like Mahakaushal, where they had lost earlier. So clearly, you know, some things, you know, not out of the normal departure, and that I think really and I think that is going to set the tone for 2024, because the party is going to use some of these strategies for 2024 is what I think. And I think the most important thing is OPS, farm loan waiver, caste census. 3 big highlights of the Congress did not work.
They will have to go back to the drawing board, find some different narrative. But the fact remains that this election is also a testimony of how micro-management of the Bharatiya Janata Party, election after election, has trumped the way the Congress possibly still fighting the elections the old way, on the sentiment, on the flavor or a perception that they are going to win. It's their turn. Janta jita degi versus we will ensure that every vote is counted and it is mattered as far as the BJP's victories are concerned. The sweetest possibly Chhattisgarh, where nobody, even till late last night, was giving them any option. But of course, there will be big celebrations today in the national capital as well.
And like you said, that this is a day of reflections for the Congress and a day of celebration for the BJP. But clearly, Arvind, my colleague, is at the BJP office and he's going to track all the celebrations that are going to happen in the BJP. I was there in the morning and every BJP leader that I met said that humne aapko kaha tha, we told you about Chhattisgarh, and you know, a lot of us did not believe it then. But clearly, there was a lot of anger both in Chhattisgarh and also in Telangana. Of course, Congress has wrested power from BRS. Arvind is in the BJP office, BJP headquarters in Delhi. Arvind, what are the preparations like? I hear that the Prime Minister is going to be, you know, coming there and he's going to be participating in the celebrations there. What is the mood like?
Well, so the BJP is preparing for celebrations here at its party headquarters in the national capital. So what we are expecting is that post 7 p.m. we can expect Prime Minister to come to party headquarters here to join the celebrations, where he is also expected to address the party workers who have gathered here close to 8 p.m. That's what we are hearing from leaders here. What we can also show you now is that senior BJP leader and also Union Minister Anurag Thakur here, several media personnel around Anurag Thakur trying to get his reaction or get his views about party's performance in the four state assembly elections. So BJP has clearly swept in the Hindi heartland. Of the 4 states that went for counting today, of 3 are from Hindi heartland: Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, and BJP has swept all these 3 states, and that's why what we could see is a jubilant party headquarters here in the national capital. So around 6 o'clock we can expect BJP National President JP Nadda to arrive here at the party headquarters, followed by Home Minister Amit Shah and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and also Nitin Gadkari, another senior minister from BJP. He will also be here to participate in this grand celebration. So close to 7 or post 7 p.m. we can expect Prime Minister to come here, and at around 8 p.m. Prime Minister will be addressing the gathering here. Ankit?
You know, it's become sort of a tried and tested, a strategy as far as the BJP is concerned. Every time they win an election, the election result comes in, the Prime Minister does come and speaks to the Karyakartas. But the fact remains that this one comes very close to the 2024 election. This was being dubbed as the big semi-final ahead of the 2024 election. Today, when the Prime Minister speaks, this will have renewed significance and a lot of vigor, because from here on, it will be him on the ticket when the BJP fights the election next.
Yeah, Ankit, that will be a very important kind of a speech of Prime Minister that the entire country will be looking forward to, where Prime Minister will be announcing the roadmap for the party for the 2024 general elections. So that's a much awaited speech that we are expecting close to 8 p.m. But what's important here is that BJP's dominance in the Hindi heartland. Though with the Congress poll plank of caste census, OPS, etc., people thought that Congress will put a fight against BJP, will try to regain some of the states, Hindi heartland states from BJP. But BJP has again clearly showed that they dominate the Hindi heartland, and that's what we witnessed in today's results also in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh. BJP has clearly won with a clear margin in all the 3 states. So Chhattisgarh, people like what Vasudha was explaining also, Chhattisgarh, no one saw, even the pollsters, even they didn't see that it would be such a victory for BJP. But BJP clearly outplayed Congress, and BJP wrested power from Congress in Chhattisgarh. And again, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, clear dominance by BJP in both these states. So it's time for Congress, like what TMC, one of the alliance partner of Congress in the India Alliance, what TMC has said, that it's time for Congress to go back to drawing room and then to do a complete study. Where did they go wrong? So that's a huge task for Congress, but a solace for Congress from the southern state, where they have gained power, where they have won against BRS in Telangana.
So Arvind, one of the direct contrasts I was thinking about today was, in 2000. Okay. Revant Reddy, the front runner for this chief ministerial post in Telangana, is speaking. Let's listen in.
कांग्रेस सरकार बना देके यहाँ के जो शहीद हुए युवता, उनके विचारधारा को आगे ले जाने के लिए हमको संपूर्ण हम इंस्पिरेशन लिए, वो हम जो भी वादा किए, जो शहीद होकर उन लोग जो देश के लिए क्या किए, वो पूरा आगे हम लेकर जाएंगे। और केटीआर ने आज ट्विटर में वेलकम किया कांग्रेस पार्टी जीत को। मैं भी बीआरएस को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। ये स्पिरिट आगे सरकार चलाने में भी दिखाना है, क्योंकि 10 साल अब सरकार में बैठा हुआ है, अभी विपक्ष में बैठने वाले। विपक्ष के सुझाव हमेशा हम खातिर करते हैं, पॉलिसी हम बनाएंगे, सजेशंस विपक्ष की जिम्मेदारी है सजेशन देने का। तो इसीलिए असेंबली हम चलाएंगे, विपक्ष का सुझाव लेंगे, अच्छा अच्छा सरकार बना के गरीब लोगों को मदद करने के लिए हमेशा कांग्रेस पार्टी कोशिश करने वाले। इसमें हम बीआरएस और कल्वकुंट्ला चंद्रशेखर राव, भारतीय जनता पार्टी मिस्टर किशन रेड्डी, एमआईएम अध्यक्ष असदुद्दीन ओवैसी and CPI, CPM and तेलंगाना जनसमिति प्रोफेसर कोदंडराम सबके मदद लेकर सुझाव लेकर एक अच्छी सरकार बना के देश में एक आदर्श सरकार बनाने के लिए हमेशा हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे। अच्छा काम के लिए हमेशा कांग्रेस पार्टी हाजिर रहेंगे। सोनिया जी, मल्लिकार्जुन जी नेतृत्व में एक अच्छा सरकार बना के तेलंगाना स्टेट को हम तरक्की करवा देंगे। చూడాలి ఇంకా విశ్లేషిస్తాం అందరితో మాట్లాడతాం। दिखाने का जरूरत नहीं है। लोग have given the mandate. It's a people's mandate. We need not to postmortem things. Everything goes well.
All right, Revant Reddy there, in fact, speaking, the man who's supposedly the front runner, maybe the chief minister, because as soon as the results started swinging in favor of the Congress party, there were the local police chief, the DGP, everybody already lining up at his house. Yeah. They also understand that the power has shifted from KCR to Revant Reddy, and an indication that possibly he's going to be the next chief minister. Interesting, the state of Telangana. If the Congress would have performed little better in the other three states, this would have been possibly the crown as far as the Congress's performance today is concerned,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
Ankit, and just a year ago, it just seemed like the Congress was going to, sort of like get divided, fragmented, because there were all these power centers from Uttam Reddy to Revant Reddy to Vikramakabatti, and then suddenly Revant Reddy does this yatra, and then you see all these crowds, and it is a resurgent Congress, at least in Telangana. Clearly, South of India is thinking on different lines. Of course, that is also up for grabs, and I think BJP is also going to focus on the South of India very vocally and vociferously. That's what we understand. But yes, DK Shivakumar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, is speaking. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Who will be the Chief Minister?
There is no such proposal as on now. There is no threat to us, but we are very cautious. We are very cautious. There is no threat to us. We will not. Every movement has been looked into. As far as what other.
Who will be the Chief Minister? Is Revant Reddy your CM?
See, Revant Reddy is my party president. We have fought the election on the collective leadership. The party high command and the CLP and the party leadership will take a decision.
What is the next course of action? Revant Reddy and CM both have been defeated by BJP candidate in Kamareddy.
It was a political strategy to contest and block there. We know the political angle. It is a political strategy which we have endorsed.
What is the next course of action, sir? What is the next course of action?
Next course of action is my CLP, my PCC president and my AICC general secretary will inform you. You speak to them. He will address the media. I don't want to disclose our plan. You just meet my AICC general secretary and our PCC president. No threat.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
So that was DK Shivakumar, Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, talking about the movements in Telangana and also saying that a decision on the Chief Minister will be taken soon.
All right, so important, in fact, this development for the Congress. They will be taking heart. At least they have one state, and south of India, 135 seats in the Lok Sabha. The Congress would fancy a strong performance as far as they are concerned in 2024. But then, shift to North India, the Hindi heartland. the Congress has got a drubbing and it's a total domination. Barring Himachal Pradesh at this moment, the Congress doesn't have any Hindi-speaking state under its belt. The important thing, ladies and gentlemen, here is Chhattisgarh, which nobody, and no pollster, most pundits were not giving the Bharatiya Janata Party a chance even till late last night. They said it will be, some said close, but the Congress has an edge, has turned around completely. And the only state which has bucked the trend of anti-incumbency in the current election in the 4 states that have, the result has come out today, is Madhya Pradesh. What a phenomenal victory has this been for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Rajasthan, which usually gives BJP a huge victory at this moment, comfortable 115. An interesting thing, my colleague Vedant is joining us at this moment. Vedant, whenever Ashok Gehlot has gone out of power, he has left the Congress party in complete tatters, whether it was 2013 or in fact before that also when Ashok Gehlot went out of power, the Congress party came to their lowest. 21 was the last time. At 70 right now, but the Congress party and Ashok Gehlot riding on the welfareism plank could possibly be hoping that their performance would have been much closer. They were hoping for a much closer fight.
That's right, Ankit. In fact, when I had spoken to Ashok Gehlot on the campaign trail, he had said that his welfare schemes would bear fruit, particularly as far as the rural belt is concerned. In fact, as we speak, Ashok Gehlot is currently in a huddle. In fact, both the BJP and the Congress are in a huddle. Here at the PCC office in Jaipur, Ashok Gehlot is with Congress observers, with Bhupinder Singh Hooda and Mr. Randhawa, and they are discussing what went wrong, essentially. A press conference is expected at about 4, and he will be tendering his resignation, conceding defeat at about 5:30 p.m. at Raj Bhavan as well. So a couple of things that they, that sources close to Gehlot are telling us. One, of course, is division of votes. That is something that the Congress is looking at very closely right now. Those, rebels who were denied tickets and who went on to fight elections as independents, how did they cut the Congress's votes in crucial seats? That is something that is being discussed right now. And secondly, as I was telling you earlier as well, Ankit, when I spoke to some of the senior Congress leaders here, including the Congress observers, Mr. Virendra Rathod, who is also here, he said he made a very important point. He said that perhaps as far as the tribal seats are concerned, we could have had a pre-poll alliance. Because remember, as far as this election is concerned, neither the BJP nor the Congress came out with a pre-poll alliance. So that is something that he was conceding too, that perhaps as far as the tribal seats are concerned, there could have been a pre-poll alliance. The third aspect that the Congress is currently discussing is, how they could have handled the caste arithmetic better, because key Gehlot faces have lost the elections, including cabinet ministers here in Rajasthan as well. So the Congress has already gone into introspection mode. As far as the BJP is concerned, Mr. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat has been here since morning, and Vasundhara Raje is also expected to come to the BJP headquarters here in Jaipur in just a short while from now. Celebrations have been going on. Now, of course, the story shifts to who actually will be the next Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Of course, we spoke to Diya Kumari earlier in the day and also Baba Balaknath, and both of them made the same point, that we have left it to the Parliamentary Board and ultimately it's a decision of the High Command. So it remains to be seen how that pans out, but as far as the situation right now is concerned, both the BJP and the Congress in a huddle.
So what is the Congress thinking about, the tribal seats? Because clearly there could have been some accommodation of, say, the BTP or the BAP, because tribal seats are where the BJP seems to have gained a lot. So is there any introspection, reflection on that count?
Exactly what I was telling you, Vasudha, just a short while back, that, a senior Congress observer said that there could have been a pre-poll alliance as far as the tribal seats are concerned, because as we've been reporting since morning, that, these others, as far as the BAP is concerned or the Azad Samaj Party is concerned, or, even parties like the RLP, perhaps, they would have played a crucial role as far as government formation is concerned. So while that aspect has been ruled out now because of the BJP's clear majority, the Congress is certainly thinking about how they could have been accommodated better. But also the important aspect to look at here also is how, Hanuman Beniwal, Jat strongman, how he has lost to the BJP's Jat strongman as well. So the BJP has really gotten the caste arithmetic as well as the tribal arithmetic right as far as Rajasthan is concerned.
All right. In fact, Vedant, at this moment, at a very quiet, glum-looking Congress office, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot accepting defeat there. He put up a fight, let me give you that. But, it was also that the insistence of repeating his MLAs. I think a lot of his MLAs which were repeated, anti-incumbency against the local MLAs has also done the Congress in an art that the BJP has mastered. They have been able to, like we saw in, in Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, they've been able to change a lot of their people, and that has also negated a lot of anti-incumbency.
But Ankit, I think in the last 30 years, the state has not voted an incumbent back to government. So clearly there is a certain tradition that the state has. The Congress was fighting against all odds here, at least in Rajasthan.
Absolutely.
But some of their, maybe like, these health insurance, some of their schemes were really good, but probably they were just on paper because people don't seem to have...
And other reasons, like you said, the tribal factor has been all across in all states. If you look at Madhya Pradesh, if you look at Chhattisgarh, significantly in Chhattisgarh, the Bastar region, where the BJP in the last election got a drubbing, the Congress swept that region. The BJP has almost 7 to 8 seats more in its kitty than last time. Look at Madhya Pradesh, even in the tribal region, the BJP has been able to perform better. So that's micromanagement of the Bharatiya Janata Party has also worked. In the studio, we are being joined at this moment, ladies and gentlemen,
by Sumitra Goenka.
Sumitra Goenka, she's a political analyst. Mr. Anurag Verma, senior journalist, is also with us. I welcome both of you. Mr. Verma, what are the broad strokes that you are looking at after this victory? Usually, any side which gets defeated says, don't extrapolate this to 2024 or general elections. Both will be very, very different. But with the BJP's domination in the Hindi heartland, what are we looking at as far as Narendra Modi is concerned and his chances in 2024?
As far as my observation is concerned, Modi factor has taken over everything. Be it caste-based census, Bharat Jodo Yatra, India Alliance, everything has been hijacked by Modi factor. And this is going to rule in next parliamentary election also. That is my observation. Although you may analyze this is the vote percentage, Congress vote percentage has not reduced or anything, but this is there. Modi factor is going to rule in 2024 elections.
Right. Ms. Goenka, when you talk about the female vote, so clearly in Madhya Pradesh, we did see a 2% increase in the voter turnout amongst women and, of course, in the overall turnout. So clearly, there's something that women want, but it's not just welfare alone, it's also delivery and implementation, because Kamal Nath was promising, 1,500 rupees a month, whereas Shivraj Singh Chauhan was giving 1,250 a month. So clearly, it's not just the amount, but basically this guarantee of implementation. What do you think, ma'am?
Yes, so Vasudha, I think women voters have played a very important role, not just if you look at the turnout, but also the percentage of votes which has gone to the BJP. I think there is a 4% increase in the votes which has gone to the BJP from the women voters. So this is a significant vote share, and the BJP has studied this quite earlier as well, and that is the reason why they have been targeting the women voters. But I would also say that BJP has a very positive mindset when it comes to women voters, and they have seriously implemented many of the schemes. Like if you start 9 years back, we saw that people had to walk kilometers across India to get, water, just a small bucket of water, you can say. But now there is a dashboard which talks about how many tap connections have gone. So basically these are the schemes, like the toilets, Ghar Ghar, you have given toilets.
You're right. I think
these things make a lot of difference.
And then a very important factor, the trust factor, the bharosa factor of who can deliver those schemes. So that at this moment seems to be, favoring Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and what he kept saying, that it's Modi's guarantees that matter. We are being joined at this moment from the Congress office. Suleiman Mohammad Khan, spokesperson of the Congress party, is with us. Asif Bamla of the Bharatiya Janata Party also joining us. Gentlemen, welcome. Mr. Mohammad Khan, Suleiman Mohammad Khan, I want to start by asking you, sir, congratulations on Telangana, but the loss of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, many are calling this a demoralizing, defeat as far as the Congress party is concerned, sir. Mr. Khan, if you can hear me. I just wanted to understand from you, it's a very clear divide that we see at this moment. In southern India, there is still that Congress, pro-Congress factor sentiments, but in the Hindi heartland, your welfare schemes in Rajasthan have not been able to save your government. Bhupesh Baghel, who many thought was a popular chief minister, has lost his seat. And in Madhya Pradesh, where the Congress, hopefully was seeing that a fatigue factor against Shivraj Singh Chauhan, 20 years, 18 and a half years of governance, you've not been able to encash that sentiment as well. Hindi heartland has rejected the Congress party's narration, sir.
First of all, I would like to say that we are very thankful to the voters of Telangana who have given us such a huge victory, which no one expected. We were saying that we are very hopeful, and people were very enthusiastic about Congress party, and same is reflected in the results. As far as Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh are concerned, we also thank voters of these three states who have voted for us in huge numbers, although we have lost all three states. But there is one factor, the win and lose, why we lost, what are the factors, all these things have to be analyzed. One thing I have analyzed in the meantime during the course of the day is you can also see that in Rajasthan, the vote percentage of Congress in the last election was 39.6%. It has just fallen by 0.03%. So the percentage of votes which have been polled to Congress party in 2018 is the same as it is almost. For BJP, there is a rise of 3.54%. That rise has come at the cost of BSP and others. So therefore, BJP has, gained more seats. But people have not left Congress. It's 39.6% as it was in Rajasthan last time. Same has happened in Madhya Pradesh. We have lost only 0.47% votes. We have 40.4% vote till this time.
Mr. Khan, many would say that this is cherry-picking the data for some consolation, sir. 18 and a half years, and if you could not, sir, at this moment, go ahead and try and translate that anti-incumbency into a victory, sir, then, of course, you will be clutching at straws to try and find reasons. The fact remains that two states where you were in power, you could not hold those states for just 5 years. Post 5 years, you were thrown out of power. The BJP has been able to hold on to the state that they were in, and that too after 18 and a half years of being in governance.
So what should I say then? What should I say?
I don't know, sir. I'm just asking you. Is there a time for the Congress party to rethink their strategy?
Sir, with due respect to you, I'm just telling you facts. This is a very important political fact. We have lost. We have, with utmost respect, we are accepting the verdict which has been given to us even in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh. Right. I am telling you, the percentage of people who voted for us in 18 are the same. BJP has cut into the votes of others, independents and DSP, and therefore we lost. There may be shortcomings in our election strategy, therefore we lost. But to say that you are not, what do you want us to say then? We are analyzing our...
Yes, let me
listen to me. We'll analyze seat by seat, every state, one by one, but it needs time. Today you want me to answer everything. I have given you a fact.
Okay, Mr. Let
you
me
are enough to do, celebrations
Bhamla.
for BJP. I have no problem, but I have to tell something which is factually correct.
Yes, sir, we understand. Mr. Bhamla, in 2018, around the same time, I remember when I was at the BJP office, all the senior spokespersons had left because it was gloom and doom for the party. And 6 months later, there were these Lok Sabha elections. And today, the entire situation is different and there's a lot of celebration. How do you see these elections and the results setting the tone for 2024 for your party?
See, all I would like to say is that Sangathan ki majbooti, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
All I would like to say is that Sangathan ki majbooti, Modi magic, Modi guarantee, and Sushashan ki niti has worked, It's pro-incumbency and Vikas ki leher and Jan Kalyan all put together. You see, the Congress tried the soft Hinduata, they tried the Janganna also. And you see, any government who delivers has to get elected is what I feel. Of course, I would like to say that Chhattisgarh has been, has been a major silver lining for us. We were not very sure about it, but we're very fortunate about it because the exit polls also never showed us there anywhere. Last time around this time, of course, like you mentioned, we were not in that position. But in spite of that, the love that was given by the people of the country in the Lok Sabha election was such that we got an absolute majority. And this time in the semi-final itself, I mean, we don't call this semi-final because we are BJP is always on an electoral mode, and we're always ready for a go. I mean, this time too, we've already got 3 states, and I think we've done fairly well. But let me tell you this: you see, the people have answered the wrong nitis of the Congress, which they tried to put upon us, the insults that was thrown upon to the Honorable Prime Minister, the moral poverty that by calling the Honorable Prime Minister a Parvati, you see.
Mr. Bamla, but would you concede? Mr. Bamla, would you concede? Of course, it's a day of celebration for the Bharatiya Janata Party, but like the Congress Party, now finds, except Himachal Pradesh, a complete wipeout in the Hindi heartland or in the northern states for the Bharatiya Janata Party. With Prime Minister Narendra Modi popularity as well, they are finding it very difficult to gain a foothold as far as the southern India is concerned. The Congress has won Telangana, barring just a minority coalition as far as Puducherry is concerned. The BJP is nowhere south of India's.
You see, when it comes to Modi ji's election himself for the Lok Sabha, we have seen that the demographics change. In states like Chhattisgarh, where Congress was en masse, I think last time we had 9 seats, I mean, that was immediately after the assembly election. So it's irrespective, you see, the way state elections happen, you see. The turnout later today is one aspect, but the growth momentum created by the Prime Minister during his second term, his positive narrative, you see, towards a developed India. You see, an India for the vision that he sees often for India for 2047. You see, let me tell you this: beyond regressive ideas of castes and consensus and a list of freebies, we don't see any political.
Sir, but you didn't answer my question. So
anybody.
are you telling me that the Prime Minister's vision for 2047 and India's growth is not being bought by people in South India? It's only restricted to North India?
No, wait for it. Wait for it. Give us a little time. We are not people. We are not a party. We are always in an election mode. If you see in the 3 states, the victory, it's not just like that. Our Panna Pramukhs were awake in the morning from 4 in the morning. Where were the workers? You see, they believe in optics. What happened to the India Alliance? They talked lots. They did a lot of photo optics. They were all against Modi ji. And today, what is the outcome? Today, Kamal Nath says, what is Akhilesh?
Yes.
Akhilesh. So these are the things.
Right.
You see, we don't believe in all of that. But in South also, things will come and things will change in this span that we have got. We are very confident about it.
One of the dominant narratives of your party's campaign was also the way infighting sort of played out between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot, and of course Mr. TS and Bhupesh Singh Baghel, and of course in Madhya Pradesh. So do you think that is something that the party could have handled better for better results?
I don't think that there were differences. It's all open in the public, but before elections these differences were ironed out. There was no problem. We have contested this election collectively, and I think we gave a very spirited campaign. Our election was actually the agenda was led by guarantees, and we tried to tell people that if you vote Congress you'll get these welfare schemes. I tell you why our election was, the campaign and the election was looking so good. You can see by the vote percentage. Therefore, I am saying there's 40% people in each state have voted for us. The defeat start where the votes which were in the other parties or the BSP or the independent have been shifted to BJP. These are facts, and which have to be analyzed. I can say that we have lost. We have to sit again on the drawing board.
WCD Minister is joining us. WCD Minister and also Minister for Minority Affairs. Ms. Irani, congratulations on the big victory of your party in 3 states. And I know that you have been campaigning extensively. What are your big takeaways from the results of this election? Because Mahila, Modi, and of course Modi guarantee seem to have worked.
I think, Vasudha, today is a day of great jubilation and joy for all of us because, yes, the Modi magic, Modi guarantee worked. But on 4 issues, I'm extremely elated. One, Narendra Modi is known for fiscal prudence. Narendra Modi is known for fiscal discipline. Narendra Modi is known for reforming. And Narendra Modi is also known for his administrative acumen. Today is a support. This vote, this victory is in support of Modi's style of functioning as an administrator, as a politician. Secondly, we all know that before 2014, female voters were not a decisive political vote bank or a vote group. Today, yet again, Narendra Modi has proved that when you look after issues such as education, health, and ensure that economically and from a perspective of skill, women have enhanced opportunities, women do then continue to support you. Thirdly, when you look at the alliance and its attack on Modi, which was not only personal, which was not only debasing and degrading, it also had new legs when it came to the allegations that were made. Today, the vote, the victory in Modi's favor is again a decisive blow to the ill-gotten campaign of the Congress party and the alliance. Lastly, I think the agenda of division of our society on the basis of caste, a very dangerous and decisive agenda that was proposed by the Congress leadership today, also meets its fate with the Modi guarantee winning across the states. What Modi had said in the face of such a decisive, divisive political strategy by the Congress party was that let's look at the poorest of the poor, let's look at the youth, let's look at women, let's look at our farmers, and if we have to do something, let's do it for them first. And I'm grateful that voters have supported that vision of Modi, that appeal of Modi.
Right. Ms. Irani, do you think that this is, the Congress did talk a lot about caste census and, you saw the farm loan waiver being promised in every manifesto of theirs. And of course, there was also the OPS in Rajasthan. So these 3 factors, according to me, were the highlights of the Congress campaigns. Do you think all 3 of them have failed, when you see the results today?
I think today's victory is also a decisive death knell for the Gandhi siblings. Please recognize that the Congress party presented them and their leadership, if any, qualities as the factor that will help the Congress sail through. Do remember 72 hours ago in newsrooms across the country, there were many people who were about to blow the trumpet about Rahul Gandhi's leadership qualities, about the Priyanka Vadra magic. And I think today there's a deafening silence from those quarters as well.
Right.
Mr. Rani, the Congress also tried this welfare scheme. Mr. Gehlot tried very hard last 6 months. There were many schemes that were announced. Many promises were made by Mr. Kamal Nath as well. Does this mean that there is also this whole acceptability of the most important thing in politics, the bharosa? The bharosa at this moment of the voters only lies with the Prime Minister. That's why the Congress has not been able to translate their promises into victory.
Now, let me just give you a small example. In Rajasthan, Gehlot promised mobile phones to all women. Turns out it was select few women, and even the mobile phone blew up in the hands of women that he wanted to give it to. In Chhattisgarh, the farmers were not receiving monies that were to be accrued to them for bonus and some parts monies for MSP procurement. In Madhya Pradesh, 15 months that the Congress had power, they did post-dated Kanyadan, wherein for the first time in my political and social life I found out that while the Bharatiya Janata Party had a term to serve in government, we used to do Kanyadan for the poorest of the poor girls, especially girls who are specially able, Divyang. The Congress party comes into power and says, post-dated check dete hain.
Right.
Now, the people of the state had tested the Congress. So it's not as if they did not have an opportunity to service their promises.
Right.
People know that the promises made were just paper promises. For instance, Rahul Gandhi went and said, 10 दिन में सभी किसानों का कर्जा माफ कर दूंगा. Did not happen.
Right.
Rahul Gandhi said, बेरोजगारी भत्ता दे दूंगा. Did not happen.
Ma'am, while the BJP has, I mean, it's a domination of the Bharatiya Janata Party in the Hindi heartland, barring Himachal Pradesh, now all the states rest with the Bharatiya Janata Party. The same cannot be said about, the south of Vindhyas. Why is it that the Bharatiya Janata Party has not been able to get that kind of a foothold in South India? Is that a worry for the BJP for 2024?
My request to you is not fall for the Congress propaganda now of the North and South divide. The Congress tried to divide us on the basis of caste and religion. Now they're trying geography as a new precipice for division.
Right. But the fact remains that there is no government of the BJP like the Congress.
Agreed.
So
but
is
the
that a
BJP
worry
is
for
also
2024?
prevalent in the West. The BJP is also prevalent in the East.
True.
The issue is, we're a party that was born in 1980. We're a party which just had 2 MPs. And today, 10 years of government with a decisive majority. Compare it to a party that has been in existence for over 7 decades.
Right.
And another difference. We are a party today, when you talk about Prime Minister Modi, when you talk about the BJP president, when you talk about Amit Shah, who are they? They began as normal BJP karyakartas at the booth. Look at the leadership of the Congress party. Who takes the decisions? The Gandhi family. They are a policy of dynastic politics.
Right.
So you're making a comparison between 2 political